Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Effie Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Chris Wouters, Mia in the Shire, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Jason Hornsby, JMails24, Unimento, Iron26, Endless, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic936, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links to Patreon, as I say, are below this video. And with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
How's it going?
Excellent. Yourself?
I'm all right.
Hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
Well, listen, that's all they have is character defamation. There's nothing you can do about it. Even though that video pissed me off. What do you expect? I mean, that's all they have. They still operate the same way. Don't give them any attention. And it's just something that I guess you got to live with, Nathan.
Having my character assassinated on a regular basis because I point out Earth's measured flat. Yeah, I've been doing this 10 years, Neil.
Yeah, but I noticed in the comments a lot of people are getting upset, including me, and they think you should do something about it. I mean, that's what they want. They want attention.
What they want me to react.
Out the facts.
Yeah, what you're saying is in the comments of a video that's defaming me, they want me to react to it, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I want you to react, and I want you to defend yourself, take them to court, but this is all they have. You're pointing out facts, and they're just making like they got the winning position, and they're making fun of a flirt, you know, but they're not coming with any proof, any evidence. So they gotta, you know, dismerge your character.
It's because potentially they've gone back through my back history and seen that I have taken people to court and won. So I've taken to people court on 3 separate occasions. 2 were settled. 1, I took the full distance and won. That was a tribunal against a former employer. And I won my tribunal for unfair dismissal, which means that when I talk about Cord Electronics, I can say they unfairly dismissed me because I took them to court, sued them and won, and the judge awarded me unfair dismissal. I.e., that's the state of play after suing somebody, which doesn't look good on an ex-employer. But yeah, I'm more than happy if the principle's worthwhile taking somebody to court. Now, in this instance, it's a diversion from the fact that we measure Earth flat and so do they. And rather than, as you've identified already, Neil, I'm just reiterating what you've already said, it's better that I'm, fighting them over defamation? Well, one of the claims I previously made was actually defamation. I have made a defamation claim, and it got settled. But again, you know, yes, if somebody defames me, it's not that I'm unwilling to take them to court. I have. I've taken people to court. I've sued for defamation previously. I've sued in a tribunal. You know, there was another instance as well that was YouTube related that I instigated court action. Again, it got settled. But that's what they want rather than dealing with how Earth gets measured. And yeah, Neil, you've done a good job of summarising exactly what their intention is. So what, defaming me? Nah, piss off. I'm not going to take you to court. It's not worth it.
Exactly. They're trying to distract you. They're trying to deflect with character defamation.
Yeah. They want my legacy to become about a court case where I sue, rather than about me pointing out Earth being measured flat continually. But if they can just make it about me having the hump with them claiming I beat my kids, then that's much more successful, isn't it? That's a great distraction from how Earth gets measured flat by everyone always and without exception. Realistically,
we're
right,
all over it.
What is it? the video that they tend to reference is a video where one of my kids screams out loud while I'm looking after her in the studio. And it's about 7 years old. Both of them are growing up really quickly. So, you know, they'll be having their own opinion soon. And do you think they're going to come on camera and say, yeah, my dad beats the crap out of me? Obviously not. I don't. Speaking of kids, they came in today while I was testing out a load of drum microphones that I've got put up for sale to keep ends met. Anyway, that aside, my frustration aside from having several jobs, they came in and were like, do you want to hear our band? I'm like, band? They're like, yeah, we've made a song up and we've been practicing it. Now, neither of them can play an instrument yet, but obviously they're fumbling their way through. But my eldest daughter actually came up with some lyrics, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. I'm like, wow, you wrote that? She's like, yeah, do you like it? I'm like, yeah, I like it so much, I want to record it. So I recorded it and played it back to them. And admittedly, when you're hearing them just playing pretty much random notes, it doesn't sound fantastic in terms of the musicality of the song. But it's got lyrics. It's, you know, a 6 and 9-year-old doing what they do and they're producing a bit of music. I was so proud. It brought me to tears. It was beautiful. Didn't sound very fantastic, but it was, like I say, when your kids do things like that, you're like, oh my God, that's so sweet.
Yep.
I'd actually put it on YouTube just so they could hear it back. Won't play all of it because it's, like I say, it's not exactly the most musical, but it is pretty cute. I'll just stick it up for you. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I get the same thing when I listen to my son, like nail a rush riff with very quick bass, and he nails it. Warms the heart.
Yeah, it absolutely warms the heart. And I told him that. I'm like, wow, that's just adorable. Because one day they might be actually putting some of these microphones on port to use. In other words, they'll be like, I want to record myself. What can I use? I'm like, one of these. I've got plenty.
That's it. I put the instruments there, and after a few years, they picked them up, and now they're really good. The little guy's on the drums, learning some drumming. The other guy's on the bass.
Can you see that?
Oh. Yes.
All right, guys.
I'll just give you a couple of seconds. I won't play it all.
Once there was a dog. The dog was very lonely. But then I came along when the dog wished for a friend. And then we became best friends. And we screamed, we are the Sigmas, we are the Alphas. You won't bring us down.
There you go. That's about as much as I can. I did get permission off them. They said it was okay to play. That's okay, isn't it? Yeah. Eleanor's come in. She's heard it playing. There you go. Anyway, very proud of them, I am.
I had stuff going on.
Did you say sorry?
What was your daughter singing about? I joined.
It's about a dog that they met, and then they discussed the dog with a meatball, and then the chorus is, we are the Sigmas, we are the Alphas, you won't bring us down. There you go.
Ah, very good.
Hey, one deck, I put my line in for a new poem. Did you see it?
I've got it, mate, yeah.
All right.
I didn't give it too. I did too, and I didn't give it too much thought. I just thought, so you're asking for people to just give a line. Now, I would assume that you'll take all of that and then reorder it and make it make sense. And it's just, you know, inspiration from lots of different people, as opposed to me thinking, now what rhymes with the last line? I'm just like, what's a good line for a poem of this nature? So hopefully Neil and a few others will do the same, and you'll cobble something together. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know why it came into my mind the other day. I just I wasn't trying to do anything, but boats disappearing bottom first came into my mind, and then I just said to myself, somewhere over the rainbow. I think I was thinking of the horizon being not a physical location, same as the rainbow, apparent, and tying the two together. And then I thought, well, why don't we come up with a globe claim and then try and sort of just bring this somewhere over the rainbow and these lands in a lullaby, and I don't know. I was just thinking maybe we could do something with it.
No, definitely. I thought it was a really good idea.
I made mine rhyme. That's why I put Flurf at the end.
Maybe we could
15 degrees per hour, Flurf.
That's all
somewhere over the rainbow.
Plus, obviously, anything that comes from The Wizard of Oz is going to be good in this arena, isn't it? Because it's eye-opening in that regard. I'm just thinking, while I was saying it, do you know we covered 1984 and how... I can never remember this bloody term. What's the term for, like, paid shill that Irish girl used? Like, approved
Licensed critic?
Licensed critic. Would you...
Stooge?
Well, it's just licensed critic sounds better than paid shill or controlled opposition. Now, she uses both terms interchangeably, controlled opposition and licensed critic. But in terms of The Wizard of Oz, it's very similar to 1984 in that regard, isn't it? It's kind of putting control structures that we all experience on a daily basis into the abstract. Who wrote Wizard of Oz?
Don't know.
Oh, I forgot. Hold on.
L. Frank Baum. Wonderful Wizard of Oz is the original title. Lyman Frank Baum, 1856. So potentially licensed critic.
Yeah, boy, how are you doing a number on that girl?
Say again, Neil.
Right.
I said, boy, did Hollywood do a number on that girl.
What girl?
Judy Garland. They
Oh, okay.
drugged her up. They always felt she was too heavy. They had her on freaking pills to keep her weight down. Hollywood destroyed her.
Cropped over a clip. I don't know how old he is. I've just seen Dave Big Globe Weiss talking to Mark Sargent on a show, telling him that how the sun speeds up in the and it's moving in a circular pattern over the Tropic of Capricorn, and then it slows down in Cancer.
Judy Garland is the mother of Liza Minnelli, right?
I don't know.
I'm sure someone will tell us in the comments. Sorry, what were you saying about something much more related to the flat Earth than Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland, and the Yellow Brick Road?
Seeing David Big Globe Wise telling Mark Sargent on a video that the sun moves in a circular pattern, but it speeds up above the Tropic of Capricorn, and then it slows down, moves back in when it gets to the Tropic of Cancer.
That sounds like an outrageous claim he can't in any way prove or justify, that doesn't in any way demonstrate how flat Earth is measured. Why would he be doing that? Sounds like something that's easily to be ridiculed, doesn't it? Sounds like somebody putting something out there that they can't prove so that they can be ridiculed.
Oh, yeah, he had a diagram of it, everything on his clock. But nobody, I mean, who's that guy from the Land of Misfit Toys 2.0? DJ something or other he's called, DJ
DJ Wonder.
No, that wasn't me, mate. the the other DJ, QE gives him some stick. Anyway, he was in there. There was him, Matt Sargent, Dave Weiss, and the Peanut Gallery, and the DJ guys sort of, oh yeah, he was sort of all going with it. You know, Matt Sargent didn't pull it apart or say, well, how have you put this through the scientific method, Dave?
That's some interesting shite you're spewing and can't justify there, Dave. Very interesting, I'm sure he said.
But this is it, isn't it? You know, this is what they're talking about. This is what Dave's talking about as flat Earth proof.
Not flat Earth proof, it's flat Earth nothing. It's designed to get him ridiculed, if you ask me.
How are you?
Hello.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Oh, hello. Good to have you. Good to have you, Captain Edgewares, Duncan, Mickey, and Surf Daddy. Good to see there's a few people in the Discord server. How's it all going?
Hello, Nathan.
Hello. And James, who's just
all right.
Hello, Mickey. Good to be here. So, yesterday's show was filled with disdain and my annoyance at general rebuttals that we're not getting from our opponents. Instead, it's character assassination. So I don't necessarily want to talk about YouTube censorship, character assassination, and negative stuff today, when there's more positive things to talk about, I'm sure. But there is just one thing that is negative that we need to get out of the way in the meantime that we were discussing in the pre-show. That is to say that, from what I understand, Big Ball Dave is now talking about how the sun operates, what it does, how it moves, how far away it is, how quickly it's travelling, none of which he can prove. Now, this is starting to annoy me greatly. The fact that we are in an arena where, if you're a flat earther, you feel that you've got some privilege to just make stuff up about the sun that you can't prove. So I've just got a couple of words for Dave Big Ball Weiss in terms of his suggestions about the sun. Prove it. Prove how fast it's going. Prove what direction it's travelling. Prove anything about it, in fact. Beyond what we already state that is absolutely utilised in a practical manner every single time anybody negotiates the Earth's surface with the sun by way of its navigational properties that are used by measuring elevation angles to it, which people do on a daily basis if they don't want to die at sea. Now, we do have practically applied elevation angle measurements that are utilised with the sun and prove Earth is measured flat. But Big Ball Dave's decided to tell people how it moves, how fast it's going, and where it's moving over, when he hasn't got the slightest idea. No mention whatsoever about its actual practical application in real-world use to stop people dying at sea whilst measuring Earth flat with angles to the sun. Just a suggestion of how fast it's going. Prove it, Dave, you complete clown. You are a fool, and you are making us all look like idiots, because you stand as a representative of me, which pisses me off greatly. Don't bullshit about stuff you can't prove when it comes to the light in the sky we measure Earth flat with. Just point out how we measure Earth flat with it, because that'll prove we're on a flat plane. Given that you call yourself Flat Earth, Dave, I'd prefer that you just proved Earth was flat with a measurement that's used in practical application daily with the sun, rather than making your bullshit suggestions about what you think it does, without any proof at all, leaving you open to ridicule. Which means that I am subject to the same ridicule, because I get tarred with the Big Ball Dave Weiss brush that you paint us with when you make crap up about a sun you have no idea what it is or what it's doing. We know how it's used. We know how Earth is measured. It's measured by everyone always and without exception with elevation angles. You want some examples? Look at Dave McKeegan measuring Earth flat for a 24-hour period in Antarctica with elevation angles to the sun. Did I say measured for 24 hours? I keep forgetting that Dave's an idiot and doesn't know how to use his own equipment. But for the fact that Dave's a complete clown, Dave McKeegan this is, and couldn't manage a tripod, he would have, past tense, measured Earth flat for a 24-hour period with elevation angles to the sun. These are our opponents, Dave Weiss, that you can lean into because they're measuring Earth flat with the exact same descriptions and measurements of Earth's surface when measuring the sun. Or about Simon Dan, who's measuring Earth flat thousands of times from surface level for the same elevation angle application of the sun and its measurement. Someone's off mute in G+, in the middle of me ranting, of course. Who's that? Someone's getting to get told off. We're on deck. God damn.
Sorry.
Go on. What did you want to say?
I was just saying here, I put that Dave Weiss's scientific proof of the sun moving in eclipses in Master B. It's around 30. Don't watch it all. It's a 2-hour show, but 30 minutes in, probably for a couple of minutes if you wanted to listen to what Dave's saying. It's there.
30 minutes, you say?
Yeah.
$31. It's just music. Exactly 30. I've already missed it. Have I at 31?
Sure, it's 30.
Oh, it seems to have hung up. Okay, let's just refresh it. Okay. Clearly, they don't want us to listen to Big Ball Dave. Because it's not playing. Oh, well. Oh, no, my whole computer's hung. What a shock. No particular reason why. No, whole computer's frozen. Okay, well, let's do a bit of housekeeping while we're stuck on Big Ball Dave and Mark Sargent's faces and I can't come out of the tab. Oh, there we go. No, it does not want to work. Oh, incredibly frustrating 2 minutes into the live stream. Ugh. There is absolutely no reason for my computer to hang. It's an absolutely bang up-to-date modern computer with no issues whatsoever. It's been a perfect computer ever since I had it. That's a total lie. Right, let's do housekeeping because I can't play any of this video for the time being, so I'll put that line on mute while we do. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? That's a horizon formerly known as Earth curve.
Well, for one, the horizon has never been defined as a physical location. And in their mathematics, to give the non-physical horizon a location, they do use eye level parallel with surface level, with a depression angle between the 2 points, to then tell you that they've got a curved horizon. How bizarre.
How bizarre. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. How bizarre. How bizarre. Right, I think this video might be working again. Oh no, it's frozen up again, of course. Worked for a second and now it's frozen. Shocking. What a pile of crap, eh? There's no reason for me to get mucked around by my computer by the token of I've been using it all bloody day to make microphone videos without any issue. The second I go live, obviously I'm getting computer hang, videos freezing, black screens, just crap, just total crap.
You got the devil on your back.
It certainly seems that way, doesn't it?
Probably a driver issue.
No, I'm bang up to date. Everything's bang up to date. My graphics card and the PC itself is all up to date. There's no driver issues here. Just when I go live, whatever reason, the computer decides it's going to hang and I'm going to get a mess around. Same with my iPad at the moment. It just messes me around. Whenever I type anything, the keyboard disappears, so does the writing. Anyway, we covered all of this yesterday. We'll give it one more go.
Watch this 1 minute video. Let me where the hell's the share? Is it the red button?
Down the bottom, little square TV. And
Square TV.
Then I say yes once you.
It just does not want to play. There's no reason whatsoever why Mark Sargent's 106,000 subscribed channel shouldn't be playing perfectly when I just do a video, right? Why wouldn't it play? Why wouldn't it show on my preview screen? Why would YouTube Studio hang? I'll tell you why. Well, because we're talking about how Earth gets measured flat in all instances. So because we talk about how Earth gets measured flat, I'm not allowed to play a video and critique the dumbos that are out there representing flat earthers as idiots by suggesting they know what the sun is and how it functions when we utilise angle measurements from it on a daily basis for mapping and navigating Earth flat with surface level measurements. So better that Dave comes out with this crap that we can't even critique because he won't even bloody play. Yep, just a black screen every single time I try and use it or it hangs. What a joke.
You hit it.
Okay, share share a video file. Is that a bit easier?
Either way.
Yeah, I'll do share a video file.
You got to find the video file.
I got it.
All right.
And it'll share with sound.
Well, we'll once.
Oh, there you go.
Did I get
Go ahead, play. It's about 1 minute. Do I have to hit play? I think I do.
Yeah. Oh, wait. There it is. Add to stage. Sorry. And then let me, yeah, there it is.
Do you play it
Did
or
you
I
know
play
that
it?
all of the longest
got it.
solar eclipses all occurred north of the equator? Now, isn't that a curious fact? Let's take a look at what is the cause of that. On a flat Earth with a circling sun, the sun...
Sorry, you've offered a presupposition of a flat Earth with a circling sun and offered up a causal influencing relationship. Yeah, Dave, we cover something that I have personally sat down with Dave Big Ball Weiss and tried to educate him in, and he rejected it out of hand. No reason whatsoever given, he just rejected how the scientific method worked when I tried to educate his dumbass on how to establish cause. Now, this is a Dave Weiss reference to something that's suggesting there's a causal influencer. Dave, you're a disgrace. You have no purpose here in this community. I don't want you here anymore. You're just an embarrassment to me. If you're going to suggest cause for this crap, you need to establish it through the scientific method. It's a naturally occurring phenomena. That means it's governed by the scientific method. That's what establishes cause with empiricism, not your bullshit nonsense that you make up and just say, well, let's have a look at what causes it. No, there's a method for doing that. It's called the scientific method. It works as follows. Step 1, observe natural phenomena. That is to say, you see something occurring in nature and say, I wonder what caused that. Step 2, you formulate a scientific prediction, otherwise known as a hypothesis. It's an if and then statement that establishes your suppositional causal influencer. That's your independent variable. And you've already got half the hypothesis from step 1. The dependent variable is the naturally occurring phenomenon, in this case, the sun, and its movements. So you've got a dependent variable. What you need to do is prove your independent variable as the causal influencer by step 3, experiment. That's to say you, the researcher, vary and manipulate that which you assume causes the effect you observed at step 1 and validate if it causes it or not. If it does not, you validate the null hypothesis, aka zero difference result, if A, not B. Called a null hypothesis, which sits alongside the alternative hypothesis, which is if A, then B. If my suppositional causal influencer is varied, I will cause the naturally occurring phenomena. If A, then B. Upon experimentation, that's validation of your supposition, you cause the effect, then you have empirically validated the cause of an effect, concluding the scientific method. Now, there is a little bit more to it. That is to say, within the method, it demands systematic experimentation. That's to say, you don't just stop when one person validates a suppositional causal influencer as the cause. It requires multiple people do it. Then you form theory after validated experiment in the alternative. Not the null. You're not testing for a zero difference result. You're not testing to not cause an effect. So to summarise, step 1, observe phenomena. Step 2, formulate hypothesis. Step 3, validate your suppositional cause of the effect you observed at step 1. Step 4, formulate theory. Off the back of validated empirical evidence attained through experimentation. This is something that I attempted to go through personally, verbally, with Big Ball Dave, and he rejected it. And now he's got the gall to suggest cause. You're an embarrassment, Dave. Give him 100,000 subscribers.
Nathan?
Yes.
Yeah, so I only skipped through that, just so you're aware. I think what Dave's playing now is a video of somebody else describing how eclipses prove the flat Earth. This is a minute video. Then Dave goes on to show you what he's done with that and how the sun moves at different speeds. But I think this little clip here is just something Dave's found that he's using now.
Yeah, but he's
just
using
so you're
it.
aware of.
Yeah, you know how ownership rules work. We've gone through this many a time before. When you
Can't hear you, Nathan.
Everything's going wrong. The minute I try and run a live stream, I press buttons and they don't function, so I'm presumably going out after unmuting my line. But the line hasn't unmuted because the buttons don't work. I get black screen. Everything starts crapping out. Now, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever why I'm having to do this, but it's because the, what do we call them, controlled opposition shills like Dave, who are here for the sole purpose of being able to ridicule flat earthers while they assert cause. Now, if you didn't hear what I said in the previous muted, even though I'd opened my line, discussion about why Dave Weiss is putting this crap out there, it's because he is there to serve the purpose of ridicule when we've got flat earth measurements. But in terms of ownership, he now has to own this video. He's referencing it. So it becomes his. It's his standard now. I don't care that it's someone else's video. It becomes Big Ball Dave's standard. That's how it works. This becomes Dave's video. That's how it works. If I play a video and say, this is what I'm referencing, it becomes my evidence and my standard. I have to be held accountable for it. No different for Dave.
Point taken, yep.
Of course, the first time I said it, unmuting my line isn't good enough. Watching my computer crap out and the screen go to black is what I have to deal with when I'm live currently.
Why? I think I do.
Yeah. Oh, wait. There it is. Add to stage. Sorry. And then let me...
On a flat... The longest solar eclipses happen in the north because the Earth...
Dave, you complete idiot. Are you a shill like Jeren? We debunked this map 10 years ago with Jeren's help, the shill, who later decided to go to Antarctica to debunk it again. What a numpty. Meanwhile, your crappy globe projection, otherwise known as the azimuthal equidistant North Pole-centric globe projection, came by measuring flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris to form the latitude system. So you don't need this map. You don't need to make this stupid claim that hasn't been through the scientific method. You're just a numpty and an embarrassment to me and everybody who represents flat Earth debate. I'm sick of Dave Big Ball Weiss. Why do I call him Big Ball Weiss if the audience wants to know? I'll quote him. It could be a really big ball. End quote. Flat Earth Dave, a disgrace who doesn't know how science works. A disgrace who's now leaning into this as cause. No, Dave, you're just a numpty and an embarrassment to everybody who actually knows how Earth is measured. Flat. That's us, not you.
Earth is flat.
That's it. You can kill it.
Oh, I will kill it.
So during a solar eclipse, the sun is being...
Why is Dave about to tell you what happens during a solar eclipse? Have you put this through the scientific method, Dave Weiss? No, you haven't. You're a bullshitter. So I'm just going to say it right off the bat. Dave's a bullshitter. He's about to lie to every member of his audience about something he has no clue about. He doesn't know what causes eclipses. He's just going to make this up. And it's an outrage. You hear me, Dave Weiss, you bullshitter?
Being eclipsed in front of or behind whatever, moon, another body.
Whatever. What, just make it up as you go along? It doesn't really matter? No, we establish cause and effect relationships through the scientific method, Dave, something you're not privy to because you decided to reject the information. And make it absolutely and abundantly clear what Dave has done. He rejected that which I'm sitting in front of my camera going through with you, my audience, live right now. Science proves cause. Well, it might be this, it might be that. No, Dave's just a bullshitter. Total charlatan.
Doesn't matter, but they're...
Oh, does it not, you stuttery scumbag? It doesn't matter. Why are you talking about it then?
It goes faster.
No, Dave's just a bullshitter. I'm just going to say it again. Faster, slower. No, it doesn't do that, Dave. You're just making it up. What have you got to standardise this? A video? Is that your standard? Proving the azimuthal debunked map? Why? We measure Earth flat with the sun. You want to see an example of it? It's on screen. Not on screen. Let's just make it on screen. Oh, why isn't that working? Oh, it's so annoying. Give me a second.
Yeah, he's annoying because, like you say, he's just you know,
making shit up
about things. Making shit up, yeah.
Yeah. Here you go, Dave. This is all you need, Dave, idiot, embarrassment to Flat Earth Weiss. Big Ball Dave, take a look at what is on screen right now. It's been taken from a book that's used by ballers because it's standard rhetoric in terms of sun measurement. This is called an elevation angle. It's not science. It's an angle measurement. That would be maths. It's used on a daily basis to save lives when negotiating the surface of Earth. It's a fact. It's an indisputable, used by Dave McKeegan and Dan in very recent times, measurement of Earth's surface to the sun. This is all Dave Weiss needs. What's he doing? Well, he's just making shit up, making us all look like idiots. That's what Dave's doing, trying to tell you that he knows how eclipses work when we've got measurements of Earth's surface that are documented and used to stop people dying when they go out and negotiate the territory. When they use the sun to navigate, they measure it this way. It's called an elevation angle. See where it says elevation angle? These aren't my diagrams. This is the official measurement of the sun, Dave. So why aren't you using this standard? The standard, the Earth measurement standard that we put out. Well, because Dave's got a place here, hasn't he? A place to make every flat earther look like a complete clown while he makes stuff up and ignores the scientific method, uses videos that assert cause. What garbage we have to put up from our compadres are supposed to be on our side when we've got actual measurements. Use this next time, Dave, you complete clown, because you're an embarrassment to me and everyone on this flat earth. That we measure with this, the sun, and its angle off surface level. If it's not measured off surface level, it's not an angle measurement and it won't save your life at sea. Okay, Dave, are we clear? You stupid, embarrassing clown.
This is what I was saying the other day. You spoke to these people, yeah, Whitsits, him, Jeren, about scientific method, about Earth being measured flat. Now, as soon as that twigs if you are a flat earther and you've not got to that, pardon the pun, level yet, where we know it's measured, as soon as you realise that, that's the key stone to the not an argument, because there isn't an argument. Start using these measurements when describing how Earth is measured.
Are you a shill, Dave? I'm just going to ask outright. Go and ask Dave Weiss. Are you a shill? Because shills would put out embarrassing crap they can't prove when there's flat Earth measurements that prove Earth's flat on the table not being used. So are you a shill, Dave? Because it certainly seems that way from where I'm sitting. It seems like you're putting out crap you can't prove and telling the world that, quote, it could be a big ball. You complete scumbag. So, Dave, you're an embarrassment, if nothing else. If you're not a shill, then you're stupid. You're just a fool. But it comes over like you're being a shill, like you're helping our opponents. Use the proof, not your bullshit about what you think the sun does that you can't prove because you haven't put it through the method. Right, I'll change the title of this show to Dave Weiss is an embarrassment. Because he is.
Yeah, but when are you going to hold Mark Sargent accountable? He's constantly putting these guys out there.
Why wouldn't he? He's got as big a name as Dave Weiss, hasn't he? So what, they all band together with their largest channels out there while I have to deal with endless crap and abuse? Is Dave McKeegan making endless videos about Dave's crappy standard? No, he doesn't need to. Dave can embarrass Flat Earth all on his own, can't he? Yeah? Meanwhile, I've got to have people like Dave McKeegan lie through their back teeth about me. I've got to be constantly accused of child abuse. I've got to be character assassinated on a daily basis. Why? I'll tell you why. And I want Dave to prick his ears up and pay attention. Because we are over the target proving Earth is measured flat by every single person who has ever measured Earth ever. That's why I have to deal with the level of crap that I'm currently have to put up with. That's why the level of censorship is so harsh on my part. And that is why Dave the Embarrassment Could Be a Big Ball Weiss is getting the views and shilly sub count that he is. Because he doesn't need an opponent to embarrass Flat Earth, does he? He just needs to make crap up about the sun while we're pointing out how flat we measure Earth with it.
When was the last time Mark Sargent got in touch with you?
I regularly speak.
Would you mind
That's
coming
why
on
I'm
the show and breaking
hesitant.
down
I regularly
the
speak to Mark.
measurements?
Just stop. I regularly speak to Mark Sargent. I spoke to him a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay, that's why I'm asking. I don't know if he has invited you to break it down live on a show.
I haven't asked him. If I said to Mark now, I want to go on your show tomorrow, he would say yes. Mark's very conciliatory and he's very accommodating. So I don't want to have too big a go at Mark. He's all kumbaya and wants everyone to work together. Me, I'm far more combative when I've got pricks in our arena like Dave Weiss who make shit up and make us look stupid. With what? Well, the sun. Yeah, we're currently laying it out there for everybody who actually understands how Earth is measured by everyone, always and without exception. Like Dave Fugly McKeegan, who measured Earth flat for 24 hours in Antarctica, but for the fact he was outsmarted by his own tripod. Or Simon Dan, who's measuring Earth flat with the sun thousands of times. So what's Big Ball Dave leaning into? Oh, well, he's leaning into, he suggests that the sun's moving at a certain speed. Did you measure its speed, Dave? Give it me in miles per hour and then show me how you measured it. You won't, you're a charlatan. Meanwhile, we prove Earth is measured flat by everybody here on Flat Earth Debate. Share my show and unsubscribe from Dave Big Ball Weiss. Why? Because Dave tells his audiences and interviewees that, quote, it could be a big ball, and then will lie through his back teeth about speed of the sun while we're showing how everyone requires Earth to be measured flat when they utilise this light in the sky for navigation, or mapping, or charting the world as a flat plane, as they absolutely unequivocally do. I can give you baller examples. If you don't like the baller examples, you can use Eratosthenes or Al-Biruni, who both utilise elevation angle measurements also off surface level. That means a flat Earth's being measured. For thousands of years, Dave. Now, why is it that you're making this crap up about a debunked globe projection called the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection that was debunked? Not only by me, but allegedly by the people who alleged to go to Antarctica when they measured Earth flat with the sun. So why is Dave leaning into this? Probably so the shill can make us all look like idiots. That's what I'm suggesting. Or asking, are you a shill, Dave? Because if you're not, why aren't you using the flat Earth measurements instead of making crap up? It's a disgrace to me and everybody who's around me. If you support me financially, you should be disgusted by Dave Weiss and his shilly behaviour. We're putting it out there, he's just not picking it up. What he's doing is lying to everybody and making crap up in the name of Flat Earth. It's a disgrace.
I don't know how he can sort of, what's he saying here? He's saying an eclipse in the northern hemisphere takes more time than it does in the southern hemisphere because the sun's moving quicker in the Capricorn tropics, therefore the Earth is flat. What a lot of bollocks.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know, he sleeps at night. Do you remember that Simpsons episode where there's the guy that's taking off Arnold Schwarzenegger?
On a big bed of money.
Yeah, it says, how do you sleep at night? On a big bed of money. Ain't that right, Dave? Yeah? You got a big bed of money to sleep on, yeah? How's your boat that you took Whitsit and Jer and the shills out on? Yeah, you got a good boat? Yeah, that's what Dave's money goes towards, going out on boats with shills, while he makes shit up about what the sun does, while little old me struggles to pay my 2 mortgages. Yeah, that's the reality. Whoever is off mute, for the love of Jesus Christ, go on mute while you're hearing me ranting about Big Ball Dave Weiss. Big Ball Dave Weiss, you're a shill, as far as I can tell, because you're an embarrassment and you're making us all look stupid. There's measurements of Earth using the sun out there and you're not using them. Therefore, you're a shill. Out on your boat, sleeping on a big bed of money that you're scraping off your app. That's what you're doing. It's a disgrace. Speaking of 2 mortgages, please hit the super chat and hit me up on PayPal. I am genuinely poor.
Nathan, wouldn't a 15 degree per hour elevation angle measurement being the same in the north and the same in the south be the same then?
They would be, but for the fact that they've debunked that map, but Dave's still using it like a shill. Maybe it's preordained. We all need to use the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection as flat earthers because Dave's still using it. One of the biggest flat earthers out there is just ignoring that it's alleged to be debunked twice. By me, in the first instance, 10 frickin' years ago. But Jeran decided to keep hold of it and retain it so he could, debunk it again and then claim that debunks flat Earth? No, it absolutely doesn't. You still need to measure the sun with elevation angles to find your position. You can do it at different times of the day with these, like on screen now. You can measure the sun at various different times and draw circles of equal elevation to pinpoint a fix, find your position and not die at sea. Now notice how I've got these going around daily. Yeah, I would suggest that we get the most horrendous censorship ever and Dave and other shills around him get promoted.
Some of the guys over in politics, like Jedi and that, they realise that map's been debunked. DJ Curious there, he's from the Politics Land of Misfits 2.0. He should be jumping all over that, just like you have.
I know he's in the company of Big Ball Dave Weiss and he's probably starstruck and hoping to go out on the boat that Dave pays for with his shilly app that uses a debunked map that's been debunked for 10 years. Now, I have sat across from Mark Sargent personally. Haven't I, Mark? After we debunked the azimuthal equidistant North Pole-centric globe projection, I sat across a table from Mark Sargent personally and explained in no uncertain terms how and why that map was wrong and how I personally debunked it with the assistance of people tracking the sun on a Flat Earth Live 10 years ago. And Mark said, I take on board what you're saying, Nathan. I understand. And what are we doing 10 years later? Well, we're propping up Dave Weiss and his bullshit lies about cores with videos that describe the sun and what it does with eclipses and how fast it goes, whistling immediately past the flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle measurements to the sun that are used daily off a flat Earth to save lives, not lies. Meanwhile, I've already debunked this map. It's alleged to be debunked in Antarctica, yet they're still using it. If you don't know what controlled opposition looks like, look at Dave Weiss. That's what you need to do because that is what this is. It's a controlled opposition narrative with a map that doesn't work that's been repeatedly debunked by flat earthers who have attempted to educate this lying shill about how Earth is actually measured. And he's just not using the actual tools that are given to him. He'd rather just shill for his crappy app. This is a disgrace. The game's rigged. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much we point out how everyone's measuring Earth flat. The prominent flat earthers will bullshit everybody and sell their shitty apps to you. That's what's going to happen. That's what's preordained to happen. So long as Dave's doing a good job at making flat earthers look idiotic, he'll keep getting promoted in the YouTube algorithm in the same way Simon Dan does, making him as big an enemy to us as Simon Dan is as far as I am concerned. Oh, what's this on screen? Something that Dave's not going to lean into when he talks to thousands of people on a channel with 100,000 subscribers, in this case Mark Sargent. What's this, Dave? Where do you think I got this from? Do you think I drew this? No, this would be an elevation angle measurement, Dave. To the sun. The one you're bullshitting about now how fast it goes? You lying scumbag. You don't know how fast it's going. I only had to ask once. Prove it. How'd you measure its speed? You didn't! Meanwhile, we do measure Earth's flat surface for an angle to the sun so that navigators can not die when navigating Earth as a flat plane. It's the only way you can utilise the lights in the sky to navigate. They're always measured with angles. Further to that, the way the ball was created was with these angles. You need a flat Earth to create the stupid ball. The one that Dave said it could be. Quote, could be a big ball, right, Dave, you shill? Oh, thank you for that. That put me in a great mood.
Sorry, mate.
Nah, it's all right. I'm just in tremendous pain now from shouting. I'll go get some painkillers in a minute.
Thing is, it is a wind up, but I mean, yeah, you have got wound up about that there, and you have every right to. But it's just, why are these? They've got to be shills. There's no other explanation, like you say. They've got everything they've been told. They can describe how it's measured, everything you've just been through. But no, we'll talk about, we'll use a map that's been debunked and talk about eclipses and the speed of the sun moving in circles over the map that's been debunked.
Dave's a liar, plain and simple.
Don't get wound up.
Well, shortly after, I attempted to go through the scientific method with Big Bull Dave Weiss. Dave was on a show, Jaron's show, now Ball Earth Jaron's show, and they discussed MC Toon for a significant amount of time. And then their guest on the show brought my name up, and Dave Weiss said, quote, "We don't watch Nathan Oakley," end quote, Dave Weiss. Now, but for the fact that I've got supportive members who give out free memberships to my channel, we found out that Dave Weiss absolutely watches Nathan Oakley regularly. So regularly that he was first in line to get a free membership. So he's a lying shit who is more than happy to shut down a conversation on a big channel about Nathan Oakley when a guest brings me up after discussing a baller for a significant amount of time and lie about not watching me. Well, he does watch. We exposed his lying ass by way of the free membership he picked up whilst watching my show. The one he said he doesn't watch? Lying bastard. What's that? How do you sleep, Dave, on a big bed of money on your boat? Yes, because you're a scumbag shill. Yeah, earning all the dollar from us and our hard work that you claim not to watch, whilst talking about proof and cause for things that you can never fathom, while simultaneously ignoring all flat Earth prerequisite measurements of surface level that prove beyond a doubt Earth is measured flat, which it is, for everyone, always and without exception. Shout out to Pablo. Big Bull Dave got caught. Yeah, he did. Got caught lying through his back teeth to a live audience about not watching. And then what do you know? He's in our audience getting a free membership because he's here watching, the lying bastard. You belong in hell, Dave, you lying bastard.
He's watching, he's listening, he knows the points that we're putting out on the table, which just, it debunks anything to do with the heliocentric model, wherever that is. And he chooses not to use this evidence. Yeah, chooses to speak about a light in the sky.
Chose not to pay attention to the scientific method, shut me down while I was taking the time out of my day. Instead of spending my day earning money to feed my kids, which I struggle to do, I took the time out of my day to attempt to educate shill Big Bull Dave in the scientific method, and he rejected it in favour of this shit alleging cause. Right, Dave? You're a scumbag. That's what you are, Dave. Make no mistake about it. You're a scumbag.
Like you say, he's shown his true colours on the, I can't remember the guy's name who was, asking him, is he 100% sure?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown his true colours there, didn't he? He couldn't answer that question. He couldn't say he was 100% definitely sure that the Earth is flat.
Right, Jesse Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson. Is Jesse Peterson deceased now? Did he die?
No, don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, obviously it doesn't matter. I don't want to offend anybody in that regard. But regardless, from memory, Jesse Lee Peterson asked Dave, do you know for sure and without a doubt the Earth is flat? And he couldn't answer. Well, I'll answer for you, Dave. Yeah, I know my name's Nathan Oakley, and I know for sure and without a doubt Earth is flat. That's how it's measured by everybody in all circumstances when Earth is measured. There are no exceptions. It's not just on the small scale, it's on every scale always. There's no exception. Earth is and can only be measured flat. So do I know for sure and without a doubt that it's flat? Yes, I do. Dave the shill couldn't even answer, and he was asked 15 times. Then his response was, it could be a big ball. What a scumbag shill, sleeping on a bed of money on his boat that he takes the other shills out on. Scum. If you're subscribed to Dave, unsubscribe, delete his app, and demand a refund. Because he's conned you into buying a globe projection that was debunked 10 years ago by me. So just get in touch and say, I want my money back, you scumbag fraud. Why don't you know for sure and without a doubt that the Earth is measured flat? Nathan knows. He tried to tell you, tried to educate you in the scientific method at the detriment of paying for his kids to be fed. You rejected that and have decided to assert cause. What a scumbag. What a disingenuous fraud Dave Weiss is. If you subscribe to him, why are you subscribed to him? He's scum. He's not here to assist Flat Earth. If he was, he'd be proving it's measured flat like we do on a daily basis when we struggle Yeah.
Well, that's Dave covered anyway. Let's not get so. We know what he is now, don't we? We've just seen that. Yeah, but Earth's measured flat, and the Greeks all knew that, and it's as simple as that. Why didn't Dave use that?
Rather than buying Dave Weiss's app, become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Demand a refund and put the money into listening to my Uncut and After show, where, for example, you've got people like 10th Man spending thousands of dollars on celestial navigation books so we can put diagrams like the one on screen up for an audience to have an education in how the ball Earth is used as a giant glorified protractor, based on the flat Earth measurements we all must and do measure Earth flat with. So if you want to actually support people who prove beyond a doubt that Earth is flat, then give me the money that you give to Dave for his app. That's shilling for a globe. Quote, Dave Weiss, could be a big ball. End quote, Dave Weiss, when asked if he knows for sure and without a doubt that the Earth is flat. What a sad state of affairs these frauds that we have shilling in our midst are. Meanwhile, like I say, I'm struggling, really struggling, to the point where I had to yesterday point out that, now I'm going to have to put my cap out in front of me. It's become that bad. The censorship's so horrendous. I reach so few people with these live shows. My Uncut and After show with 10,000 subscribers on my second channel is reaching about 10 people a day. From a 10,000 subscriber channel, just under. Speaking of which, if you haven't done so already, that would really help. That's something you can do for free. You don't have to necessarily give me money. Go and subscribe to my second channel. If you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to the Nathan Space Oakley channel, it's not space as in there's a gap between it. Nathan Oakley is just the name of the channel, as opposed to all one word Nathan Oakley 1980, which is this channel. The Nathan Oakley channel is where the Uncut and After show goes out if you're not a member. So if you want to watch the Uncut and After show for free, admittedly with a week or two delay, then go and subscribe to my second channel, Nathan Oakley, right now. There's a link below this video in the information box, and that would help. Because currently, that channel, which is about just under 10,000 subscribers, gets about 10 people watching the Uncut and After show. Like, more people will watch it as a paid member than will watch it for free on a channel that puts it out for nothing. So there you go. Go and subscribe to my second channel. That would be a massive help if you don't want to support me financially. Moreover, if you do want to support me financially, hit me up on PayPal, because now more than ever, I'm desperate. And it shouldn't be the case that the one flat earther out there putting out the rhetoric in the way that, I'm not the only flat earther, correct that straight away, one of the flat earthers putting out the rhetoric in a term that cannot be debunked in terms of Earth measurements used by all, has to struggle financially. I mean, that's how the algorithmic situation is preordained to be. If you get too close to the mark, then you need shutting down by other means. That's what it boils down to. We're just over the target. Yeah, it wouldn't be a struggle for me if I was talking shit like Dave was. If I was talking about knowing how fast the sun went, I'm sure I wouldn't be struggling for viewers, because then I'd be ridiculable, easily overcome in terms of my argumentation that proves nothing, like Dave is. So that's why he ends up with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Is there anything else to cover? For Friday, so if there's anything to cover, there's going to be a few days gap when we're not live, for sure. So if there's anything that does need covering, we've got about 15, 20 minutes left on this live stream. Feel free.
There's a video, it's a bit of fun in Master B, if you fancy it, if it'll work. If not, then no worries.
What, the one directly above?
Yep.
What's it about?
This is the new...
It's a parent PhD, so she claims. So PhD seems to be quite arrogant, don't they? So.
My computer's hung, just does not want to work. Very irritating. I'll give it one more go. You guys see that? Yes, Nathan, we see it really clearly. Can you see that?
Oh, I'm not on YouTube. I'll just have a look.
No. Can you see it in the Hangout?
No. Oh, yes. Yes, I can now, yeah.
Okay, I'll see if I can get it to work this way. Before I do, I'll just do a quick shout out to Pablo again. Thank you very much for the super chat. Why don't you use a browser like Brave and prevent ads? I do and have used Brave. I just don't like it, and it's just as troublesome for me as it is on whatever this is called, Chrome. So now I have tried Brave. The guy I was on the show of the other day, Rich, he suggested it, so I did try it for a time. Not that you'd have noticed on the show, but there we go. Right, let's crack on with this. Is there a particular timestamp that you wanted me to go through? It's a 26-minute video.
No, we'll just run through it till we're bored.
A real-life geologist with a PhD, and if there's one piece of misinformation that really grinds my gears, it's how inexplicably popular in recent years the demonstrably wrong idea that the world is flat has been.
It's not an idea. It's how Earth gets measured. Why is this guy pretending, if he's a geologist, that there's an idea that Earth is flat when that's how Earth gets measured? I don't get it.
Become. Recently, Twitter has been shoving a disturbingly popular page that makes such claims on my timeline.
So, what, the shills out there that aren't me proving Earth's flat are flooding your Twitter feed, correct? Yeah, a bit like Dave Weiss, the idiots who put out crap that you will undoubtedly easily debunk now will be spamming your feed so you can easily debunk them. But wait until you get a load of me. My name's Nathan Oakley and I prove Earth's measured flat because that's how we navigate, sail, fly, map, chart. That's how we measure Earth in all circumstances and without exception. So if you want to know about how people believe Earth's flat, then you're not listening to me. Because I'll tell you in no uncertain terms, Earth is flat, that's how it's measured.
So, today, once again, we are going to be taking a dive into the flurfosphere to see what these...
Sorry, did you just call it the flurfosphere? Oh, right, well, as you've started off the ad homs, we're going to take a deep dive into the wankerosphere. That's you, son, a wanker. So, wanker, we're going to be covering you because you've decided to call us names and call us flurfs. So I'm going to call you a wanker from this point forth. Meaning you masturbate. That's what that word means, wanker. You are that wanker. Call me a flirf.
He's got some good dance moves, though.
Flat earthers are saying about
Sorry, that's a stereotyping fallacy. Idiot. No, flat earthers, end quote you, aren't saying what you're about to come out with. That's a stereotyping fallacy. That makes you stupid. Idiots who use fallacies, in this case stereotyping. Do you know what stereotyping is? That's me being condescending. Condescending means when you talk down to somebody, just in case you don't know. Okay, dumb wanker? Don't stereotype me.
Geology and other aspects of...
You picking your nose there, boy?
...of science they don't seem to understand.
I mean, I don't know if he is a boy. Is he a boy?
Our subject of discussion today is the Flat Earth Library, a Twitter account that posts some of the most absurd pseudoscience imaginable.
Pseudoscience? I wonder if this numpty clown wanker is going to define what pseudoscience is, because it's got a definition and I'm going to define it right now. Pseudoscience is a claim of science that has not been through the scientific method. To be pseudoscience, it specifically has to have not been through the scientific method when claimed to be science. Look it up. That's what pseudoscience means. Now, I haven't seen what you're about to present, so I don't know if it is or isn't pseudoscience, but it specifically is as follows. You must be claiming it to be science, having not put it through the scientific method. What's the scientific method? Oh, that would be observing natural phenomena, formulating hypothesis, and then varying and manipulating your presumed cause of the effect in your hypothesis to see if it causes the effect or not. That's an experiment. That's the scientific method in the most concise summary I can give. If it hasn't been through that method and is claimed to be science, it's pseudoscience.
Multiple times a day, every single day, as well as occasionally stuff in support of things like climate change denial and young earth creationism. So I want to respond to just a few of these posts from the past few days that this account has posted with actual science, as well as with...
How much will someone bet me that this man does not put any science whatsoever on the table? That is to say, science is an adherence to the scientific method. And he's just claimed he's going to put actual science on the table. How much do you want to bet he won't put a single shred of scientific evidence on the table? Who'll take that bet?
£5.
£5? Any advance on £5? We're betting against you, dum-dum, wanker, glurf. Did you think it was okay to call us all flurfers and stereotype? I'm calling you a fat wanker, because you are. Yeah? Now, you started this, in case you want to cry foul, by calling names and stereotyping. So I am going to call you a fat dumb wanker, because that's what you are. Now, I expect a response to me, because I'm going to ask my audience to direct your attention to me, because you're only reacting to what you've been fed by the algorithm. Well, wait until you get a load of me, fatso. Please let this fat glurf wanker know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, with a polite comment that alludes to the fact that there are real flat earthers that aren't being stereotyped by him, that know for sure and without a doubt. You're paying attention, Dave Weiss. I know for sure and without a doubt Earth is flat, and I'm going to tell this flat glurf scumbag wanker exactly that with measurements to back what I say. Not a suggestion that I know cause when looking at a dumbass video that you, Dave Weiss, now must take ownership of when you suggest you know how fast the frickin' sun's going. Meanwhile, we measure Earth flat with the sun. We've mapped Earth with the sun. That's how we form the latitude and longitude grid. That's how Earth gets measured in all instances. There are no exceptions to how Earth is measured with the sun and elevation angles. Let's see how Fatso gets on.
Basic common sense, because some of these are so bad they don't even need research because they are self-debunking.
Sorry, no. If they're self-debunking, why are you debunking them? This sounds like you're an idiot. I already know you're an idiot because you've suggested that you're going to offer scientific empiricism to debunk pseudoscience. That is to say, where someone's suggesting science, I'm almost going to guarantee that this video won't claim science and then not put it through the method. They'll just present a claim that he's calling pseudoscience, and in reality, it's projection, because he's not going to present anything that's been through the scientific method, making his claims that he's now made of science, right? He said he's going to use science. If he doesn't present something that's been through the scientific method, that ipso facto makes his claims pseudoscientific by nature. So it's projection, right, Fatty? In case anybody wants to cry foul about me calling him Fatty, he's called me a flurf and stereotyped me. Therefore, I am absolutely justified in a tit-for-tat manner to take the piss out of him.
Now, the first post we're going to be talking about isn't actually about the world being flat at all.
Oh, shocking! Is it just me, or is it a bit like Dave Weiss talking about the sun and how it moves at a certain speed, having absolutely sweet fuck all to do with flat Earth? Yeah, it's a bit like all the claimants who suggest they're flat earthers put out shite that has absolutely nothing to do with the subject, while I struggle. Because I'm talking about how Earth gets measured flat by everybody always and without exception. Proving, demonstrably, that Earth is flat by way of how Earth gets measured.
But is about how these structures, which are visible in the sandstones of Monument Valley, are... Well, I'll let this guy say what he thinks they are.
Why? Where's your scientific evidence to debunk him? You said you were going to lay down science. Strike one. So this fat glurf scumbag wanker has said he's going to debunk the claims of this videographer with science. No, your claim becomes pseudoscientific in nature then, doesn't it, Fatty? Call me a flurf.
At Curry's, there's amazing tech for everyone's needs. Joe, who is partially sighted...
This is Monument Valley, on the corner of Utah and Arizona, United States. Now, if you notice, these are cut blocks in the ground. And I've been trying to tell y'all that ancient people had technology that they don't tell us about.
Why? Sorry, how did this guy validate that there's ancient technology that's cut up these rocks? Are you a bit like Dave Weiss, my friend? Just a bullshitter, charlatan, making up crap that you can't prove? No, if you're going to suggest the cause, then you need to put it through the scientific method if it's a naturally occurring phenomena. That's what you do. If it's synthetic, then prove a man did it. Don't just suggest that there's antiquitech involved, because it's going to piss me off royally, you stupid flurf. Now, I can call him a flurf.
So how did these blocks...
Oh, I see. So the question-proof standard applies, does it? You're going to start question-proofing us? Don't do that. You'll have my annoying tone put back at you.
...happen naturally. I know there's going to be someone that drops in the comments.
How did it occur naturally? It almost sounds like a job for the scientific method. How did this naturally occurring phenomena occur? Yeah, there's a method to establish that. It's called the scientific method. Step 1, observe naturally occurring phenomena. Now, not just a rock with a crack in it. You need to observe it actually occurring. Then it would be a phenomenon to study and put through the method. Then you suppose a cause of the phenomena you observed happening in nature. Then you vary and manipulate that which you assumed caused the effect to see if it actually caused the effect or not. That's the scientific method.
And defend the matrix programming to try to explain how this is natural. These cuts. Look at that cut.
So far, Fatty, so far he didn't mention science once. You said it was pseudo-scientific. That would be where someone claims to have science and they don't put it through the scientific method. So far, the only person who's done that is you fat glurf.
Okay, so what he's...
Okay, so he didn't claim science, you stupid idiot. You did, though, didn't you? So you are projecting your pseudoscience. Yeah? How'd you like these apples, Fatty?
Showing us here at Monument Valley is a textbook example of what's referred to by geologists as orthogonal jointing. This is something that's very common in sandstones because they are what's called an auxetic material.
Who gives the tiniest of shits? Isn't this supposed to be your annoyance at flat Earth videos? Or is it just you flexing your prowess in terms of your subject field, which is definitely not scientific, whilst alluding to have science? Did you look up the definition of pseudoscience before you projected it onto your opponent here? Because it seems like you're claiming this shit you were told in a school is science. Why? Well, because that's exactly what you said. No. What you've now done is turned this geology, a demonstrable pseudoscience in this instance, into exactly that. Because you haven't put it through the scientific method, have you? What a clown. Projection much?
An auxetic material is one where extension in one direction causes extension in the perpendicular direction.
Perpendicular? You'll need a flat earth for that.
Unlike in most materials where it causes compression in the perpendicular direction.
By perpendicular, as in 90 degrees to a flat plane of reference, don't use our stuff, Fatty. You'll need Earth to be a flat plane of reference to describe this perpendicularity. So don't use perpendicular. You don't have perpendicular on a globe. Are you an idiot? Are you using flat Earth prerequisites to suggest in a video that hasn't actually mentioned flat Earth once, or science, to peddle your pseudoscience by way of projection and utilisation of a perpendicular to a flat plane reference? No. You can only be perpendicular, that's at 90 degrees to a flat plane. You don't have this on your ball fantasy that's derived from flat Earth measurements of things like Polaris and the Sun, with elevation angles also off surface level. You don't get to use perpendicular. Do you hear me, you glurf clown? My name's Nathan Oakley. I hope I get a response out of you, you utter fool.
Action. As Lee and G discuss in this 2021 paper, when you apply extensional tectonic strain to a quartz sandstone in one direction, because it's auxetic, The sandstone also stretches apart in the other direction, 90 degrees to that direction.
You'll need a flat plane for that. 90 degrees in the opposite direction. Your description requires the measurement of your claimed to be science, actually pseudoscience, have a flat Earth directionality applied to it, 90 degrees perpendicular to a plane of reference. It's right there on your diagram. You notice how you've got a flat plane of reference to describe the directionality? Don't use our stuff, you stupid idiot. You're supposed to be debunking flat Earth, not using our measurements, you stupid clown.
Causing
it's
it to
funny how they
fracture.
can talk for 5 minutes straight, but eventually it'll come back to the flat Earth that they need.
Yeah, all roads lead to a flat Earth. There are no exceptions, and even idiot dickheads who stereotype and call us names like Flurf will ultimately use a flat Earth perpendicularity in their examples. They will always and can only measure Earth flat, in this case to be perpendicular to a plane of reference, when he gives his pseudo-scientific geological explanation to flex his intellectual prowess with something that hasn't been through the scientific method, making it pseudoscience. You paying attention, you stupid clown?
Just like this. But interestingly, because compressional stress can...
Where's the curve? Sorry, are any of these diagrammatical examples using a curved surface, or are you utilising our stuff perpendicular to a plane? Oh, you're definitely using flat Earth prerequisite perpendicularity. Don't use our stuff.
Also form joints and also runs perpendicular to that extensional stress.
Don't use our stuff. You don't get to use perpendicular. Wondeck, have you got the list of stuff that these idiot clown glurfs who use flat Earth measurements and perpendicularity to a plane of reference can't use, especially when they're peddling pseudoscience and suggesting that their opponent has claimed it? Yeah, projection glurf be thy name.
Stress, these exact same kinds of structures can also form in non-auxetic rocks too, just not quite as commonly as they do in sandstone.
Nobody gives a shit. You are boring. Do you understand me, geologist? You're boring the tits off me.
And you can actually demonstrate this right now if you have a mildly stretchy material that compresses in the perpendicular direction, and then...
Perpendicular? What? 90 degrees to a flat plane of reference? Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth for that. Geological description in measurement terms. Earth is flat for you to describe this measurement. Are we clear? You need a flat Earth more than we do.
Apply some hard varnish to it. When you stretch that material out, you find orthogonal joints forming in the varnish that look just like the ones in Monument Valley.
Couldn't give a shit.
And also have these perfect 90-degree fracture surfaces.
Only with respect to a flat plane of reference, you need a flat Earth to measure and describe this.
As shown in this paper by Rives et al.
Sorry, this paper's not the scientific method. It hasn't been through the scientific method. There is no cause and effect being established. You haven't proven, by way of scientific empiricism and an adherence to the scientific method, that this is how those rocks formed. You have not done that. This is nothing better than a just so story.
Which used a stretchy plastic plate and some...
Right, so you're talking about varnish. Are the rocks varnish? So you're drawing a comparison then? So based on your comparison, that's how it worked? No. No, in order to actually empirically demonstrate this to be the case, you'd have to establish it through the scientific method. First, you observe naturally occurring phenomena. That's to say you watch the occurrence occur. A phenomenon is something happening. That's step one, the first thing you do if you're going to call this science. It isn't. It's a bullshitter using flat Earth perpendicularity.
Hard varnish, and you could easily go test this for yourself. That's...
Sorry, test. Yeah, in scientific vernacular, test is an experiment. It's the validation of the cause and effect relationship through systematic experimentation, aka testing a suppositional causal influencer, established in a hypothesis, otherwise known as a scientific prediction, after observing natural phenomena. Is varnish natural? No, it's not. It's synthetic. So you're a clown. We know why synthetic things happen. Man made them. Science deals with natural phenomena, not comparisons to synthetic effects. You stupid glurf clown.
Does not mean that there are tiny people with advanced cutting equipment on this varnish. It's just a synthetic man-made effect that you're comparatively suggesting that the Earth does the same thing with. No. You'd have to establish this through systematic experimentation based on a hypothesis if you want to call it science. And you have. You fat little liar. You said you were going to give us science and you're giving us varnish. You're a liar. You're a bullshitter. What a charlatan. You, sir, are using pseudoscience, aren't you? Synthetic varnish? You think that's science? What an idiot. You don't know what pseudoscience is, you don't know what science is, and you're a charlatan. how materials respond to extensional stress. And the sandstones at Monument Valley are in an extensional tectonic setting, just as you would expect. And you can read...
As I would expect, prove tectonic plates. You want to do that? Given that we've only ever dug one tiny hole 8 kilometres down, I'm going to suggest that you're just making this up based on books you've read. And again, haven't put this tectonic claim through the scientific method either. Now, there's a suggestion that there's a ring of fire and tectonic plates on the surface of Earth. This has not been proven. You're just repeating what people have told you, haven't you, fatty? Yeah? You like me calling you fatty? Don't call me glurf and don't stereotype me. Flurf, rather. Yeah, you want to call me names, I can do it too.
All about its cool geological features in this paper, which I've attached in...
Right, a paper isn't the scientific method. You keep appealing to what people have written down. Producing a bit of paper, if I write down this man's a fat moron and go, in this paper, this man's a fat moron. Now, it is still demonstrably true. We can only look at you to find out that fact. But my paper doesn't make it scientifically proven that you're a fat moron, does it?
In the description.
Look at these cuts all throughout the land here. You can see it's...
Yeah, you're going to get the taste of my tongue too, you stupid idiot. You don't know that and you're not putting it through the scientific method. Now, while you haven't actually made that as a claim for your opponent to call this pseudoscience, you haven't got the slightest idea what caused this effect, have you? So shut up! You're an embarrassment to me if you're calling yourself a flat earther and making this crap up for an audience. Why do you think you're getting peddled out to everybody? Because you serve to make me look stupid as a flat earther. Because you're making this stuff up. You're just as bad as this guy reacting to you.
Pre-cut. You're all seeing what I'm seeing, right? These cuts, it starts...
Seeing what you're seeing? Yeah, observe and declare. Something we dealt with about 6 years ago in terms of the other glurf idiots. You don't just observe something and then start giving your question proof about why it would be happening. The standard's garbage. If you want to validate this as a phenomena, you first have to observe it actually occurring. And when you do, you can then put it through the scientific method as an observed natural phenomenon by formulating a cause and effect relationship with an if and then statement. Then being the natural phenomena you observed at step 1, if being your suppositional causal influencer mirrored in the null, if A, not B. Because if you've got both alongside one another, that's if A, then B, and if A, not B, they can't violate the law of non-contradiction by both occurring at the same time. You can't have A causing B and not causing B simultaneously. Only one can be true. And if you vary and manipulate a said suppositional causal influencer to see if it causes the effect you observed at step 1, and it does cause the effect you observed at step 1, then tick, you have validated your alternative hypothesis. If, on the other hand, you vary and manipulate that which you assume causes the effect you observed at step 1, and it does not cause the effect, then you validate your null hypothesis, otherwise known as zero difference result. You varied A and B, didn't happen. Tick! Empirically validating the null hypothesis. only one will and can only be validated. Hence, the method of science is empirical. But bullshitters and geologists will use the name of science to pretend their education prowess is somehow scientific. No, definitely not. It's just wankers propping up their own fantasies that they got from books and teachers in a school and pretending that that makes them scientists. No. A scientist is a person, a researcher, who varies something that is A, real, B, the independent variable in your hypothesis, and C, capable of being varied and manipulated by you, the researcher, if you are to call yourself a scientist. You're not. You don't even know what the words mean.
To the edge, and then it goes all the way through here, even down up in here. And on the right side where my finger...
So this guy, just so you know, you're using words that are flat earth prerequisites. Down and up are with respect to a plane. Now, your fat, glurf, scumbag, dickhead, pseudoscientist critiquer has used a much more posh word, perpendicular. But up and down are only ever existent measurements on a flat plane. You don't have up and down on a ball you create with flat earth measurements. You only have in and out. Another set of words, albeit a lot more basic to perpendicular, that you can only use if you understand implicitly that Earth is and can only be measured flat. Up and down are examples. Have you got that? Oh, he's gone. Is one deck not around? Has he disappeared? I was hoping he'd go through the list.
You can't see my finger, but over there too.
We just established that no one has... Of course, these structures go all the way into the rocks.
Did he just say caused? Now, cause is established through the scientific method. That's what establishes the cause of an effect. That's what science is. Natural science, the scientific method. Otherwise known as physics, the study of the physical and natural world. That's what you're dealing with here, the physical and natural world. Therefore, physics, aka the scientific method. That's not what you're doing. Did you huff and put your hands on your hips? This guy's a clown.
The whole region is undergoing extensional tectonic stress.
Sorry, did you prove that? Did you prove with cause and effect validity through the scientific method, aka physics, that tectonic activity even exists? Have you proven that? No, you haven't, have you? Oh, did your teacher tell you this? Did you read it written down? Yeah, just reading things doesn't make them true. Empirical evidence is afforded by the scientific method. I keep going through it.
Not just the edge of the cliff where those blocks are being eroded out.
Imagine being able to build...
This looks like somebody took a pizza cutter and just pre-sliced the pizza.
Just because something looks like something else doesn't mean it's that thing.
Oh, really? So just because varnish looks like these rocks doesn't mean it's that thing? You stupid clown. Way to use your own dumbass standard to debunk your own evidence. So varnish, a synthetic material that you have utilised in example, isn't necessarily comparatively the same as the rocks, then? Yeah, that's right, dum-dum.
This is exactly the same problem that Mud Fossil University has.
Sorry, when are we going to get to the flat Earth? Oh, there isn't any. We're 5 minutes into this video and all he's doing is responding to complete daft twats talking about something that's got nothing to do with flat Earth.
So you just grab your piece.
You're acting surprised, Nathan.
I'm acting surprised. I'm not. I mean, my outrage is mainly born out of the pain I'm in.
Looks like this is pre-flood. The reason
pre-flood. Sorry, what flood? And how do you know it's before it? Prove it.
Why we know it's pre-flood is because there are fossilized sea creatures all up in this whole area on these.
Oh, really? Did you know how they date the fossils? Oh, well, the geologists date the fossils because they know how old the rocks are that are found next to the fossils. Well, how do they date the rocks? Well, they know how old the rocks are because of the fossils they found near the rocks. Does it sound a bit circular to you? Now, if you'd have looked into this subject, you'd understand how the geological standard's flawed. But you haven't. So you're question-proofing your way around this flat Earth non-evidence that you're presenting for this fat glurf to debunk. So you, sir, are just as bad as Dave Weiss. You're just here to prop up the ridicule of flat Earth with your nonsense question-proof standard that you're presenting. Meanwhile, people like myself will point out to an audience that Earth is measured flat in all examples of Earth measurement. For example, but not limited to, perpendicularity when making a comparative example to varnish. To describe it in a paper that isn't scientific, that would be to say that the fat glurf that calls us names was using a pseudo-scientific standard based on a paper he read that hadn't been through the scientific method. Yeah, go and look up the definition of pseudoscience, fatty. To suggest that perpendicularity in synthetic varnish cracking is the same as this non-observed phenomena that hasn't been through the scientific method. Yeah, you're all numpties. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat with perpendicularity.
These rocks, these...
Oh, God, he's a young Earth creationist.
Oh, God, he's a fat pseudoscience glurf who uses flat Earth measurements in the form of perpendicularity. Oh, my God. How does it taste when I do it to you, fatso? Do you like it? Did you like calling me a flurf? Because now I'm calling you a fat moron.
Too. I've already made a video comprehensively debunking Noah's flood and all the arguments for it, so I don't feel a need to talk about that right now.
I feel the need to call you a moron, because you seem to use a synthetic standard by comparison to suggest a geological standard with tectonic activity that hasn't been proven by the scientific method, making your claim pseudoscience. Oh my God, I've conclusively debunked this clown live.
But I'll point you to that video if you're interested.
I'll point you towards perpendicularity if you want to know how Earth is measured flat. You used it in your own stupid standard when comparing geological activity to a synthetic varnish.
These cubes and stuff. So they were building something back then.
Ah, yes. Some nondescript people were, cutting rock in the directions we would...
Oh, some nondescript people were varnishing the Earth with rocks, were they? Were the nondescript people varnishing Earth to watch it crack? Oh, you've compared synthetic activity to non-phenomena and called it science? And then projected your pseudoscience onto your opponent? Yeah, that's because you're an idiot. My name's Nathan Oakley, by the way. Let this idiot, glurf, dick and his pseudoscience nonsense know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that alludes to the fact that we have covered his garbage nonsense waffle that used flat Earth prerequisites like perpendicular. Let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. His name's GeoDuck Science, because that's what you need when you're a dumbass, glurf, scumbag, idiot, liar using pseudoscience. You need to give yourself a stupid, funny name like GeoDuck. My name's not going to be a stupid, nonsensical GeoDuck by comparison. Like you compared varnish to rocks, my name's Nathan Oakley. I use a grown-up name when I call idiot fatties the glurf scum idiot projectors of pseudoscience that they are live. And I've conclusively debunked your comparison to a synthetic varnish and your standards that haven't been through the scientific method when you projected your pseudoscience onto this opponent who's also a numpty. None of you are actually looking at how Earth gets measured. Like elevation angle measurements to the sun, like parallel flight level for planes, like sea level used when building things. None of you are addressing anything that we've got to do with actual Earth measurements that are used by everyone always and without exception. For you, it's perpendicular. Useful only if you've got a plane of reference to be perpendicular to. I'm sick of covering this and we've been alive for a long enough time. Is there anything more in this that I need to cover, or is that good enough?
No, fair enough. It was a great laugh, though. Thank you very much.
Why is it that when I'm in the most amount of pain, people come back in the comments section and tell me that they've had a good laugh while I've been doing the show? Oh, I had a good laugh today. You're like, really? I was in a lot of pain. Well, thanks.
The two aren't necessarily connected.
Well, they are for me. Right, anybody got any comments from Discord?
I mean, it was funny when you started calling him a fatty.
He called me a name, so I'm going to call him a name back. If you want to stereotype and call me names as a flat earther, that's somebody that knows without a doubt that Earth is measured flat by everybody without exception. Don't call me names, because I'll just call them straight back to you. If you want to stereotype me with the person you're responding to by saying flat earthers, end quote, that's a stereotyping fallacy, then I'll just stereotype you back. Now, I've got no issue using the same standard tit for tat, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to like it. And you'll probably want to call foul. Oh, he's taking the mickey out of me. I'm in a protected group. Yeah, piss off, you stupid fat numpty glurf.
Would expect it to be cut based on tectonics and then just...
Yeah, I haven't proven it. Right, I'm going to round out on that note. So with that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Yeah, I'm going to bestow as much fury as I can on these scumbags. And they like to call us names, they like to pour scorn on us as an entire group and stereotype us. And I'm just going to start doing it back. The second they start attacking us in an ad hominem fashion, in a personal attack or stereotyping fallacy, I'm going to pour as much scorn as possible on them. So if they come back at me and go, I'm in a protected group, I'm actually transgender, I don't give a fuck. You called me names, I'm going to call them you back.
As much as I love that approach and find it hilarious, just so you know, you are going to get some pushback from an email or some people complaining.
I don't give a shit. What are they going to do? Tell me that I'm not allowed to push back when someone starts taking the piss out of me and calling me names? Yeah, I can just call them back. Don't call people names if you don't want to be called names. It's just that simple. If you want to cry foul and say you're in a protected group, don't go around calling people names and using your protected status to hide behind as a shield. It won't work.
Yeah, but one thing I will say, the person we called today was very young. Group? And when you're young, you know. I never heard of that. If that was a 40-year-old, I think it'd be very different. Because they should know better. Whereas young people tend to be arrogant because you're bigged up, aren't you, by the institutions that legitimise themselves by using you. It's a two-way affair.
Protected group is, for instance, if you are black, you are therefore protected as a status group, where if I attack you specifically for being black, then the court system can come down on me with the full fury. If you are transgender, you are part of a protected group. Now, we, as flat earthers, are not part of a protected group. Therefore, it's okay to attack us and ridicule us and mock us. No, it's not. Now, if you're going to stand behind your protected status in a group and then suggest that that gives you fair game to start taking the piss and insulting others, you won't get away with it. Now, I can't just start attacking protected groups. That won't fly either. But I can pour scorn on somebody that takes the piss out of me, tit for tat. Like, if you don't want people to take the piss out of you, don't take the piss out of them. Then they won't take the piss back. It is that simple. If you want to keep it on a level playing field, like perpendicularity would afford you, then don't take the piss out of us. Don't call us names. Don't stereotype us. And then you won't get the same treatment back. It's just that simple.
If only it was.
Yeah, it's like saying, well, I'm black, therefore I can go around taking the piss out of the gays. No, it doesn't work like that.
Damn, I thought it did.
No, it doesn't. It's like that Dave Chappelle video. He's saying, I'll go through it again, and I have to use the word that Dave Chappelle uses, but it's okay, I am also black, so I can use this word. So Dave Chappelle's talking to his manager, and the manager says, you're going to have to take the word faggot out of your show. He's like, why? He says, because you're not one. If you're not a homosexual, you can't use that word. He's like, well, I say nigger in my show all the time. I say it loads of times. He's like, yeah, you're allowed to use that word. And Dave Chappelle says, why am I allowed to use that word? Round of applause, laughing in shoes. Yeah, there you go. But Dave Chappelle is pointing this hypocrisy out in that regard, to point out that there is no double standard that's allowed. You can't use your protected status as a shield if you start taking the piss out of people. You can't turn around and say, I can say faggot because I'm black. I'm in a protected group. Therefore, I can get away with using my protected status as a black man to take the piss out of a different protected group. No, you can't. Now, for me, it's different because I'm not in a protected group. Flat earthers aren't protected. Like gingers. You can take the piss out of gingers all day long, right? Nobody's going to stop you because they're not a protected group.
Yeah, but you have to have a soul to be in a protective group.
See? There we go. The ginger daywalkers don't have a soul, is the inference that I did not make. I love the gingers. Crazy witches, they love them. Please don't curse me.
Someone's got to.
Someone's got to. You see, here we go. But if a ginger now turned around and started pouring score on me, I'd just say, yeah, fair play. Wouldn't I? I've got no choice. I can't take the piss out of gingers and then turn around and say, you can't do that. I'm a homosexual, therefore I'm protected. Piss off. And as a transgender lesbian woman, I only feel it's appropriate that I should get to hide behind my protected status.
And of course, what are we now talking about? Protected groups rather than the surface of Earth, which was the original topic of the video, apparently.
Yeah, but it didn't get to anything to do with, literally, 6 minutes into his video, not a single reference whatsoever to anything to do with Flat Earth. That's why TikTok promotes these numpty clowns. Because they're easily debunked. It's easy for this guy to come along and go, oh, I've been presented all these people that think Earth is flat. Well, how do you know that? Well, presumably the video he's responding to has got Flat Earth in the title of the channel. And then what's he talk about? Oh, rocks cracking. What? I mean, all you need in terms of your suggestion that this is a rock cracking because of something after the flood, just use the word perpendicular, like your opponent critiqued you with, and then you've got a flat Earth prerequisite in terms of a measurement. If you're going to reference Earth and something cracking perpendicular to it, Earth's flat. It's that simple. Hey, One Deck.
Hey, Nathan. I'm back now to just shoot off. I had a few things going on. How's it going? All right?
Yeah, not bad.
Nathan was crying your name earlier, calling out for you into the wind.
What, calling me?
Yeah, I wanted you to go through the list. So the guy used the word perpendicular, and then his opponent said down. And I'm like, well, you can't use down unless it's with respect to a flat plane of reference. You can't be perpendicular to a ball. Balls only have in and out applied to them. Meanwhile, to be perpendicular, you need a flat plane of reference. And I was like, One Deck, are you there? Can you go through the full list? And you weren't. You'd gone.
I was thinking about that list yesterday when we had Edgewise talking in the after show. And I'm like, man, there was a list where words you're not supposed to use. I wanted to give it to Edgewise, and you guys mentioned it today, so that was good timing.
What was the word?
I think perpendicular was one of them. When he was trying to give us globe proofs.
Yeah, you can't use that. If you're a baller, you don't get to use perpendicular. It's not a word you can use. It's not in your vocabulary anymore. There's no perpendicular on a ball.
Perpendicular to the lines coming from the center of a sphere.
I didn't hear you muttered down your crap mic. That's a train wreck, Edgewise. I say it louder in case your muttering actually is coherent to somebody. You can't be perpendicular to a ball. Oh, it's just going to talk through me. You can't be perpendicular to a ball. Oh, it's just going to yatter through me. Are you deaf? Your mic's a train wreck, you stupid idiot. Are you deaf?
Yeah, you're stupid as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, you don't have a flat surface to be 90 degrees to on a ball. There is never perpendicularity on a ball, ever. Do you understand? Just need a yes.
Euclid contradicts you.
Sorry, no, you can't be 90 degrees to a curve. Do you understand me, you stupid idiot?
So...
Not so! You mean yes, Nathan. Yes, I understand that curves won't give us 90s. Do you understand, yes or no?
So east and west don't work on.
Right, why are you telling me about east and west, you stupid glurf scumbag?
Because you have circles on east and west, these are curved.
So circles aren't giving you perpendicularity.
Yeah,
so you're going to yatter through me. I've told you 4 times. You can't be perpendicular to... Are you just going to yatter through me with your train wreck mic that nobody can understand your garbled nonsense through? I'm telling you, not asking you. You cannot be perpendicular to a ball surface. End of statement of fact.
Euclid contradicts you.
But Euclid won't be contradicting perpendicularity. It requires 90 degrees, and you cannot be 90 degrees to a curved surface.
Yeah, and Euclid...
Yeah! So sit down and shut up, you glurf scum! Yeah! That's right, you fucking cunt! Yeah! Finally got there in the end from this fucktard. Do you want fucking banning? Shut up! With your fucking train wreck, Mike! Yeah! Yeah, you can't be fucking perpendicular to a curve, you stupid cunt! Finally get the admission and concession, then he runs like a bitch when he's getting shouted at, which he deserves, telling me that Euclid contradicts me. No, he's never going to contradict perpendicularity from curved surfaces. It requires flatness to be at 90 degrees to it. Ergo, as I said 5 fucking times, you will never be perpendicular to a fucking ball. Oh, you contradicted mumble, east-west. Fuck off, you stupid cunt.
Idiots, aren't they? They just come here to wind up. Like you say, as soon as you start talking, talk through you, they know what they're doing. Absolute retards.
Yeah, fucking lying is what they're doing. He's lying to my audience when he says, oh no, you're contradicted by... What, does that mean that I'm incorrect when I say you can't be perpendicular to a curve? That's a statement of absolute fucking fact. But glurf scum lying bastards come here to tell me that someone's contradicted me. No, they fucking haven't.
Anything to look forward to on the weekend, Nathan?
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm just asking what you got to look forward to on the weekend. Resting?
I've got a weekend of pain ahead of me. That's what I've got. Pain, poverty, general misery, moaning and looking at my channel stats being absolute garbage. Listening to people like Dave talk about their fucking boat and have glurf scum come on my show to tell me I'm wrong when I describe an absolute axiomatic geometric fact when it comes to perpendicularity. That's what I've got to look forward to.
You get the QE get back in touch with you?
No.
Sorry, mate, just to rub salt in the wound.
Yeah, he's becoming quite a source of stress, if I'm honest.
He's not been on the show either, has he? I wonder what's going on with him.
Well, like I said yesterday, he hasn't looked at my messages, so I don't want to get too harsh with him in case he comes back and gone, actually, I've been at this funeral, this family member died, how dare you? I'll be like, oh, I'm really sorry. So I don't want to take it out on him too much. I'm sure that situation will resolve itself. Sorry, go ahead, Mickey.
I was just looking up perpendicular Euclid on Google, so if this guy would have taken even a couple seconds. In Euclidean geometry, 2 lines are perpendicular if they intersect to form 4 equal adjacent angles, which are all 90-degree right angles.
Oh,
this definition
so he muttered through me about Euclid contradicting me. So he basically muttered through me about Euclid contradicting me with lies.
No, unbelievable. I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's just a lying glurf scumbag. That's what you've got to do to be a glurf. To be a globe earth believer, you need to lie when I state an absolute statement of fact when it comes to perpendicularity. Why? Because I've debunked some fat twat pseudo-scientist who's saying perpendicular. Oh, well, we need that to now be ball-related. No, it fucking isn't, though, is it? Meanwhile, me pointing it out is going to be met with a mumbling wanker talking through me and suggesting I'm wrong. No, you've got to lie to be a glurf. That's a fact. That man who was just mumbling through me was lying, like a bastard liar does. Saying I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. You can't be perpendicular to a curve. I said it to him 5 times. And eventually I get a yeah. And when I shout him down because he's finally fucking agreed with the absolute facts of the matter, he runs away like a coward bitch because he's been caught lying.
Here's the words.
And that took 30 seconds to look it up, you know?
I'll just read them out for you. 30 words not allowed to be used when explaining how Earth curve is measured. Sea level, horizon, horizontal. Parallel, plumb, perpendicular. Elevation, angles, triangles. Sea sextant, theodolite, spirit level. Altitude, vertical, tangent. Straight line, up, down, plane. North, south, east, west, azimuth, linear, and flat. 30 words, and that's that. You can't use these unless you're explaining flat. So yeah, they're bad from the Globers. Every time they use one of these words when trying to describe how Earth curve is measured, stop them in the tracks. If you do it on politics server, though, you will get banned, like I did.
So you get banned for pointing out like I just did. So in my show, I can say perpendicular requires a flat plane because it absolutely does. But if you do it in politics server, you get banned for it.
Yeah, I had a mini ban. AI didn't like the way I was dealing with these people and stopping them talking when they were trying to explain Earth curvature. I was explaining you can't use horizontal when you're explaining how Earth curve is measured. It's not part of the curve measurement of Earth. Why would you want to use horizontal and sea level and parallel and plumb? That's not fair because, you know, you've got to give the Glober a chance to try and explain his position, apparently.
Yeah, that's what we've got to deal with. Very shilly. You're pointing out how Earth can only be measured and described in Euclidean terms and you get banned for it. Unbelievable.
I was wondering why they were attacking you the other day, one day, because I mean, clearly they had issues with me, like Eli and AI were going at it with me. I don't get why they started jumping on you though, because you were never even in the VC.
It's because I jumped. I've not been in for a long time, but I was just having a mess around on my phone. Jumped in. I didn't have any volume on my phone. I was just having a look at the chat and seeing what was going on, and I could sense you was getting ambushed, and I commented on something, and then AI's straight on my back because we don't get on. He doesn't like me. I don't like him. That's another story. But yeah, so yeah, it was a little bit intense. But that's what it's like in there sometimes. If you're not doing what people want you to do in the way they want you to do it.
Yeah, like I said, because I remember someone going, "Oh, he's calling us the island of misfit toys," and I'm like, "Oh, maybe that's why you started getting jumped on." But dude, they're worse. They're worse than GeoServer, 1,000,000,000 times worse. At least with GeoServer, you know what you're getting. With them, I don't know, man. Like when you say that lights in the sky, like stars, sun, moon, all that, go east to west, and then you're called a liar for saying that, it's getting a little ridiculous.
Sounds like Dave, Big Globe Dave. Just talking about the speed of the sun and what the sun's doing. He hasn't got a clue what that sun's doing. What way it's moving. What is it? He doesn't have a clue, and it's got nothing to do with the shape of the ground. Anyway, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm sick of getting Nathan wound up with this. Let's not talk about this anymore.
That's fine. I'm now tending to my second job, flogging microphones to keep the lights on. So that's what I'm doing. So you feel free.
No, we've been through it, haven't we? But yeah, we've got to try and stop getting ourselves wound up with it, really, because it's just, it's just good to show what these shills are up to. Let's not let it get to us so much where it's affecting ourselves. Just let their demonstrations and discussions speak for themselves. I mean, flat earthers have been saying for years when the Globers used to talk about the sun and the moon, that's got nothing to do with the shape of the earth. They've said it for years. Now you've got Big Globe Dave using it as a proof of flat earth. And there's no flat earthers which have supposedly moved on with the argument more and more and saying, what you talking about lights in the sky for, mate? The only reason you should be talking about light in the sky is measuring elevation angles from the flat horizontal plane that you're standing on.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, in the politics server, if you say that, they will say that's not a flat Earth proof at all, and it's stupid to say that elevation angles do anything measure the surface of the Earth, as because before you went in there, they were trying to get on me on that, saying that that's not a proof of anything. So I mean, that's where we are now. This is the only place I know of on Discord that uses that argument and champions it. Everyone else is afraid of it, or they don't like it because they don't like the personalities that popularize the argument, and that's not cool at all.
Of course, it's proof. I mean, especially the marine sextant, when you're out at sea, you're going to utilize the horizon to establish a horizontal, and you're going to have 2 points along that horizontal line from the GP of the sun and yourself. Yeah. And that could be like in a distance of 5,400 nautical miles. Yeah. Utilizing sea level.
Oh, yeah. No, most definitely.
What's not flat Earth sea level horizontal proof about that?
Yeah, that's why I was confused. I mean,
I didn't catch what they was all saying, to tell you the truth. I had something else going on, but I could see you was getting a bit bullied, and I thought, he's a bully, that guy, you know who I'm talking about, and I didn't like it. But yeah, elevation angles have measured latitude for all mapping to navigate the surface of the Earth. What's not a flat Earth proof about that?
Right, exactly. Well, see, I was going over that with them. It was either that same day or the day prior. I think it was earlier in the day before you were mentioned, about elevation angles to Polaris deriving your latitude. And they flipped out. If you do that, all you're doing is reifying the AE map. Celestial nav is not a good proof, because if Celestial nav was real, there'd be a gold standard map for everybody. I'm like, well, what does that even mean, man?
Sorry, let me get it straight. They're saying celestial navigation isn't a good proof when celestial navigation saves lives at sea. People have not died as a result of using this flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle measurement. And they're saying it's not a good standard. All right, tell that to the people who didn't die when they were lost at sea. Idiots. Very shilly. Right. So the entire server is propped up by people telling you not to use flat Earth measurements as a standard. These people are all shills.
Yeah. They say that it's all you're doing is giving credence to celestial coordinates. And I asked them, I said, how is it celestial coordinates when everything that you measure from the surface proves the surface is planar and the sky is planar? If it's celestial coordinates, it's like they were just chanting celestial coordinate system and then say it's reifying the AE map. You can't. You can't go anywhere with that.
So
that's how it is.
We're using sea level. We're using sea level in reality.
Mm.
You're on a boat. You're using sea. You've got a horizon mirror. You're going to use the horizon to establish a horizontal line between your GP and the sun's GP. And you're going to get a distance between them 2 points along the horizontal line at sea level.
Right. And then they come back with, you can't say the sky's measured as horizontal when the stars in the sky curve. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to go drink some chemicals under my bathroom cabinet now after listening to that. It's a joke. I'm not really doing that. Prove a circle of equal elevation is actually a circle. Okay, so if one point is in the center and every point away from that is equidistant to that center, do you think that's a trapezoid of equal elevation or oval of equal? Like it's gotten so retarded.
Aren't they saying over there that latitude measurements are not circular? Now,
correct.
I know in celestial navigation you will be using circles because that's what you do. You're gonna get that point of the GP and yourself, and it's going to be a circle. So you're putting a circle yourself to do that, just for that, and then you're going to get 3 of them, aren't you? 3 free sighting, say, to narrow your where your position is at sea. What they're saying is, by the sounds of it, is that latitude is not necessarily a circular measurement. But I don't know.
Right.
I mean, latitude is just an angle measurement, isn't it? I'm shuffling about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Nathan can sort of. I'm just thinking out loud here, but what are they actually saying? Is latitude circular?
I think their main gripe is when you take an angle measurement to Polaris, and then you come up with your, like, you know, if it's 34 degrees, and then you come up with your 34-degree circle of equal elevation, with Polaris being in the center of the circle. They don't like that because now they're trying to say, well, you're making Polaris the center of the Earth.
What they're saying is they don't like latitude. I'm not saying Polaris. We aren't saying Polaris is the center of Earth. We're not saying Polaris is anything. We're saying that is how Polaris is measured. Now, there's no ifs or fucking buts about it. That is how it's fucking measured. Now, they say, oh, we don't like that. Well, you don't like how it is measured off a flat Earth. You don't like that. Like on my diagrammatical example, admittedly with a sun-shaped, sun-coloured circle, it makes no difference. That is how we fucking measure Earth. Whether they like the standard or not, that is just how it gets fucking measured. But they don't like it. Wankers. I don't give a shit. I'm not measuring it. I'm not saving my life at sea with this. But people do when they measure it this way. That is to say, it is measured this way. Whether they fucking like it or not.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just trying to get me. I don't know what they said. They're saying is, like you've just said, Waxit, there's a circle. You take an angle to Polaris, which is an elevation angle from sea level. So we don't really have to go any further now, do we? Really, we've established a horizontal baseline at sea to measure an elevation angle. We don't really need to speak about anything else, do we? They're saying, well, latitude isn't a circle. How do you know it's a circle? How can you prove it's a circular measure? We're not. But who said that anyway? I don't know.
Well, I just brought it up as it being a circle of equal elevation, where if you keep Polaris at that one angle and then travel any distance, I mean, whether you like it or not, you are traveling in a circular path, keeping Polaris equidistant at every point on your path. That doesn't happen on a straight line. That doesn't happen on a triangle shape. That doesn't happen on a square. It only does happen on a circle.
I don't know if there's any difference in what they're trying to say is, because we're talking about two things, really, because in celestial navigation, you'll take the angle to Polaris and you'll draw a circle of equal altitude, won't you, from the GP. So you have to do that to narrow you narrow down where you will be after you've done a few shoots. So that's one thing. That's celestial navigation, how we navigate. You're drawing a circle, from the GP of the Polaris. They're now saying latitude on the mapping system isn't circular. We don't like that.
Well, they don't have to. So I don't care if that bit. I'm almost in agreement with them. You don't like the development after the fact with a circle based on the radius being the distance to the GP of Polaris in this instance after you measure it flat with an angle. You don't like calculating a circle of equal elevation that's used to save lives when finding your fix at sea if lost. You don't like that bit. No worries. I don't care if you like it or not. You don't need to use it. But it is used to make a ball that you don't like. And how do we use this elevation angle measurement? Oh, well, we measure Earth flat to achieve it. Now, by the same standard, do I lean into, I don't know, Simon Dan's extrapolation and calculation after he measures Earth flat 1,000 times? No. Do I like his use of flat Earth elevation angles to suggest he's working out the radius? No, I don't. That's not what I would agree with. I don't have to like what he's doing. All I'm doing is pointing out, how does he measure Earth in the first place? Oh, he measures it flat. The first thing he does is measure Earth as a flat surface. Then he measures Earth flat as a flat surface. It's a modus ponens argument if you want to put it into a logical consistency. If Earth is flat, we'll measure it flat. Earth is flat because we measure it flat. If P, then Q. P, therefore Q. So we're measuring it flat then. Oh yeah, but after he measures it flat, he turns it into a ball. I couldn't give a tiniest of shites. He measures it flat.
So Waxy, why are you sort of wanting it to be a circle of what's the situation again then? What are you not fighting for? What's your point?
Well, that was the whole stupid thing that we were getting drug into. Is that's why I got those stupid cities from 3 different locations, all in the same latitude. I mean, you know what it is? It's just a difference of opinion, and essentially they want to have 2 celestial poles, which is fine. I don't particularly agree with that, and that's really what it all boils down to. What I was called a liar about them claiming 2 celestial poles. I mean, that's what they're trying to hold up. And again, whatever, dude, you can believe in 100 celestial poles. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, the measurements are still being utilized on a horizontal plane. You can have 2 celestial poles, 1. It's something that none of us are going to be able to definitively prove anyway. So like Nathan said last week, it's a benign argument to have. It's an after-the-fact argument. The Earth's already been measured flat.
Exactly.
Everything else just arguing about details.
Precisely, Vax. Yeah. Exactly. What you do with these flat Earth measurements, I don't care. What's that? You want to take this angle and turn it into a ball? Well, that violates the angle. I mean, I can point that out to you, that if you bend what is essentially a 90-degree triangle, then you've bent the triangle you just measured, which is a violation of the measurement you made. But do I care that that's what they do? No, not really. All I care about is, what is the measurement of Earth? How do we measure Earth? We measure it with elevation angles and horizontal distances. That's how it's measured. What's that? Oh, but they use a ball with those measurements. So they use the flat Earth measurements to make a ball? Yeah, that speaks volumes. That they measure Earth flat to create their ball, but you're going to throw out the flat Earth measurement because you don't like what they calculate with after they've measured Earth flat. Well, then you're a wally, aren't you? You're kind of whistling past the graveyard of how Earth got measured flat first because you don't like what they do with the flat Earth measurements they've taken, in this case elevation angles to Polaris. Oh right, well they don't like the circles that are also flat by coincidence, but they don't like, I don't care. You're not out at sea dying, are you? So it doesn't really matter if you like them or not. If you were, I'm pretty sure you'd be on your knees thanking the Lord Jesus Christ himself that you could measure these circles of equal elevation and find your position based on where these lights in the sky find themselves. The fact that we've tracked them and can measure angles to them off a flat Earth so that you don't die when you're out in sea, that would be what you'd be thanking God for. But in the meantime, while you're in a chat hangout, you don't like the extrapolation after the flat Earth measurement, then you're an idiot.
There's a lot of people who are going, they're going into a lot of speculation about stuff. I mean, I'm not going to mention Big Globe Dave again, but, he's talking about the sun and the speed of the sun. Now we're talking about, there's another group of people who are flat earthers talking about, is the 2 celestial poles or 1? Are we living on a magnet and you've got a sun, is the two suns, one's rotating one way and one's rotating the other, possibly. And why are we talking about that crap? We'll never know. Like you said, we don't know. We haven't got a clue what's going on up there. All we know is we use the lights in the skies for elevation angles.
Right. Well, yeah. I think they just got heavily damaged by TFE, and it kind of seems like it's making their pendulum flip all the way over, and they're just like overreacting to simple things like.
It's a shame they didn't pay attention over here. If they'd listened to us, they'd realise that every single elevation angle measurement made in Antarctica proved Earth was being measured flat. Oh, but we don't like that they turned that into a ball, would be their response, right?
Right. Well, that's why they're so hardcore about 2 celestial poles, which, again, whatever. Could they be correct? Yeah. Could they be incorrect? Yeah. I mean,
don't care.
At that point, it's literally just speculation. My opinion is just different than yours. Okay, so who cares?
But let's just look at what we measured again. So we're measuring the surface level to form part of the angle to the sun. So we are, in fact, measuring Earth flat then. Yeah. So Earth is then measured flat for the lads in Antarctica. They all measured Earth flat for a 24-hour period. Oh, I keep doing it. Keep forgetting that Dave McKeegan is so dumb he couldn't use his own tripod. Other than Dave, the idiot, who was outsmarted by a tripod, they all measured Earth flat there for a 24-hour period.
It is funny, too, out of all people who effed up their tripod, it was him, because wasn't that his whole bag before he became an anti-flat earther was just tripods and cameras? Yet he's the one that couldn't get it to work, and I thought he was a professional.
Oh, is that the case? I didn't know that. I don't pay enough attention to fugly Dave McKeegan, the complete idiot. But apparently that was your shtick, was it, Dave? That you used tripods, therefore Earth's a ball, and yet you went to Antarctica, levelled your tripod to a plane of reference and measured elevation angles for a 24-hour period. But for the fact that you're outsmarted by your own frickin' EQ mount, you dumbass. How embarrassing. Yeah, you'll never hear the end of it. No amount of responses where you claim that the NTSB pitch data isn't measuring straight and level flight, measured off surface level, aka sea level. Yeah, you can lie all you like, Dave. You'll still be an unfuckable Gollum who didn't manage to use your own tripod.
No, I would have loved. I mean, I know they've been down there. They flew over there, pitched up above the horizontal. I would have loved it if one of them would have pulled the sextant out and did actually take an elevation angle measurement. That just would have made my day. That would have been hilarious.
If I was Whitsitt or Jaron, I would have brought one for everybody. You can get them on Amazon for like $30 made out of brass.
Well, they're all experts, aren't they? They're all these Globers are experts in celestial navigation. You'd think they would have pulled the sextant out while he was there and said, let's see how this works. Let's check our latitude. Try and pinpoint our position. What's the angle of the sun above the horizontal ice, if he was on ice? It would have been nice to see them use a sextant, seeing as they're all experts in it.
I wouldn't give Jaron one because he's retarded and he might break it. I would just probably tape a toilet paper roll to a protractor and let him play with that by himself.
But yeah, I think when I jumped in the night with you, and I just remember thinking, what? No one's really, they're just talking a lot of nonsense. That's what I was saying. What is this conversation about? It's just a feast of nothingness. There's no actual conversation, talking about measurements it was just like a load of crap and people over talking and over shouting and ridiculous.
Yeah, making demands that I draw a perfect diagram of the sky and how it works 100%. I'm like, oh, okay, AI, thanks. Yeah. You're making me map out the sky
They're still
for you.
giving you a hard time over there?
I mean, they call it a hard time. They just mute me for 40 minutes at a time, talk shit, and then unmute me. And then after 45 minutes of being muted, oh, you're not answering the question I asked you 45 minutes ago. It's like, oh, okay, dude. It's whatever. That's why I was a little disappointed because me and Eli got into it really bad the other day. But the day before that, he jumped in and he goes, why are you guys disagreeing with what he's saying about these angles? Because we were talking about GP distances. The ones you acquire once you take your elevation angle, you're automatically making a right angle triangle because your hypotenuse is going to be X degrees, like 34 degrees. And then there's going to be the GP that's a 90 that's connected to your hypotenuse. Then you figure out and the opposite's going to become your distance. That's why, because all a right angle triangle is two acute angles and a 90. So you got one acute angle at 34 degrees. You got your 90. You subtract your 32 degree angle from your 90 to get your hypotenuse and times it by 60, and that gives you nautical mile distance. And they were spazzing out about it.
Listen, they think here's what the whole charge was from the beginning, and if I remember correctly, that we over at Flat Earth Debate are denying observations that everyone makes.
Right. Then they started getting on my ass. You've never taken an elevation angle in your life. You're a liar. I'm like, dude, I have an equatorial mount. I most certainly had to align it to Polaris, meaning my equatorial mount was taking an elevation angle to the star to make sure, because you got to line up your equatorial mount. That way, when you turn your knobs.
Doesn't matter if you did or you didn't.
Yeah, but still, just the fact that they're that petty about it. It's like,
well, who else
I've never
is
done
that petty?
celestial math, but I absolutely have.
Who else is that petty? Ballers. Nathan never did celestial navigation. Ballers say things like that.
Well, I mean, I never claimed to do celestial nav, but I have claimed I have had to take elevation angles to Polaris with my equatorial mount to make sure it's lined up correctly. That way it functions properly when I'm observing crap. Like, for instance, if I was to put a motor on my telescope, because this is why telescopes get expensive. You get a $500 telescope or a $10,000 telescope, you're not seeing anything different with the cheap telescope. You're seeing the exact same crap. The only difference is the reason why the price gets expensive is because the several $1,000 one has a computer and a motor attached to it where you don't have to touch anything, and it'll just automatically move at 15 degrees with whatever you're looking at. So like if my telescope wasn't aligned to Polaris based off my latitude, if I was tracking something in the sky by turning my knobs, I would have to literally start adjusting it every time and making it go up or down further, versus it just turning the one knob and making it move smoothly across the sky. That's why you have to align it, because all the movement that I can see from where I live in the north is all based off of your elevation to Polaris and everything moving with that. Stupid. I like I said, they want to have two celestial poles. That's fine, and that's what they're upset with. But the thing is, if you do have two celestial poles, you'd have to do the exact same thing in the south. You'd still be making circles of equal elevation in the south around a vacant void. So there's really no difference.
I think people just like talking. Once now you've established Earth is measured flat and how it's done. Do you mean just stick with that now? We've got the celestial navigation, latitude, planes, sea level. We know what we've got, and you might think, well, it's got a bit boring now because we know how it works. We know how the mapping system works. We know the globe was created from flat Earth measurements. So it's all boring now. Let's talk about, there might be another celestial pole and there could be two suns and
could be an ice wall.
Yeah, and the sun can be moving at different speeds.
You see when Dave Weiss butchered science this morning, how Nathan took us through what the scientific method is? Right? Why couldn't that be done on the other channel over there? Very simple. Guy comes with neutrinos. He doesn't know what science is. He's in a category error off the top. Take him through it so your audience knows what the scientific method is when you're done.
They were equating elevation angles to science the other day. It's like, no, dude, science is and geometry are separate things. They're not the same. Oh, are you saying you don't use geometry in science? That's what you get back. It's like, okay, if we're going to go by that standard, just because you can probably use geometry in science, whatever, it doesn't make it science. So that means anything that uses anything that is used during the scientific method is now like, okay, so cooking is science and plumbing is science and putting gas in a car is now science, right?
Oh, that's the way they want it. Secular world, that's how they want it.
Right. Well, they say, if you're measuring ingredients, that's science. Okay, so me making pancakes in the morning, it's fucking science. Cool. Well, like I said, man, dealing with them is no different than dealing with Glovers, so it seems. The funny part is when we were talking about angles of altitude angles and circles of equal elevation, fucking Brenda stopped and goes, "Why do you disagree with him? He's correct." I'm like, "Oh God, I got fucking Brenda sticking up for me about fucking elevation angles." I said, "Good job, Brenda. You just proved Earth is flat too."
Fucking Brenda backing you
Who
up.
said that? Who backed you up?
Brenda.
Oh gosh, that she's not so stupid after all, I guess.
You mean Bernard? I was having a big argument with her a while ago now, but I just ended up, I changed her name to Bernard, and she didn't like it.
Poor Brenda. But that was that. I got really embarrassed when Brenda jumped in and started going, "You can't disagree with him. He's correct about his angles of out." I'm like, "Oh my God." And then they're like, see, you have Brenda agreeing with you. You are a globe. I'm like, "No, you moron. That's not, she's wrong too, because she thinks it could be done off a curved surface, but she still knows more about elevation angles than you do." You know?
Do you want to just take it down 4 octaves and try again? What did she say again?
Oh no, Brenda started like backing me up about how elevation angles and latitudes are circles of equal elevation, and you acquire your latitude based off your elevation angle to Polaris. Brenda's like, "He's correct. You do acquire from your elevation angle to Polaris." And they, oh God, I'm like, I got fucking Brenda like helping me out against supposed flat earthers about about how your elevation angle to Polaris determines your latitude on the ground.
Well, like, you do require circles of equal altitude.
If it's a circle of equal altitude, prove it's a circle.
Yo, I seen that happen in real time. That is crazy how they could flip that. When a man wants to talk like a man, they could talk like a man. I seen it live, in person. My jaw dropped.
Yeah, it's just I mean, well, I'm not going to say anything.
Well, it was in prison. It was in prison.
Hold
on, it was in prison. And this guy, I mean, you would think it's a girl, the way he talked, the way he walked, the way he acted, and somebody did something to him. There was no more high-pitched, girly voice. The bass beefed up, and he whooped this dude's ass.
He did what?
Neil, just shut up, eh? Neil, please don't. Neil, dig holes on your own fucking channel, please.
What did I say?
Stop. When I do it, it's subtle. When you do it, it's so overt. You're going to get my channel taken off me.
He said he beat somebody up. All right, refrain.
Oh.
He didn't get his ass kicked. He beat the shit out of somebody.
Never mind, Neil. I don't think that's what he was getting at, but yeah. So
I still don't know what I said that was wrong.
You haven't yet, but you're getting dangerously close, and I just don't trust you.
I know.
I think I know where to not go.
No, I don't know about that, Neil, given I was banned after your interjection in Discord using the N-word. Remember?
Yeah, but that was because you said nigger 100 times.
I contextualized it. You didn't, and then I got banned. I've never brought this up previously, Neil, but I got banned after you said it, not me.
Ah, burden of proof. You're flipping it on me, huh?
Yes, that's
burden
correct.
Burden of blame fallacy.
Yes, that's right. I'm blaming
wait a
you.
Second. That's got to be a new fallacy.
No, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that's the order of events. Therefore, I'm just cautioning you at this stage so that it doesn't happen again.
That's freaking Vaxie always bringing up 24/7, not flat Earth.
Whatever.
Yeah, you just stop going in there, Max, if it's like a bit of a mess.
I think I might be banned now. I'm not 100%.
He's an antagonist.
Well, if you listen, if you're not banned and you want to get banned, just go in there and stop people using word horizontal, level, and plumb when they start telling Earth curves measured. And then you'll get banned. You'll just get banned, mate.
Right. And no, I don't go in there to antagonize. I was in there for over an hour and a half having a pleasant conversation with a Glober about, just random about angle measurements. And then once we got deeper into that conversation, certain flat earthers over there took objection to it and said you're just reifying the AE map by saying that your latitude is derived from an elevation angle to Polaris. And what am I supposed to do with that? Not say anything?
Well,
oh, yeah,
in
you're
fact,
right. We
they
won't
said-
talk about elevation angles anymore. My bad.
They said they said you secretly uphold the AE map.
I secretly did what?
You're an AE mapper.
I don't know what that means.
That means you stand behind the AE map.
It means the same as what we accused Dave Weiss of today. The difference being that he had the map literally behind him while he punted it and sold it on his app. Whereas you're not doing that. You're pointing out how Earth gets measured and being simultaneously ridiculed and shut down and strawmanned with something that you're not doing. Well, Dave Weiss gets away with monetizing it. Oh, how ironic.
Exactly. My only issue with the AE map, and again, I know you guys were talking about the other day about, because I wasn't around when you guys did the sun tracking thing. I tried watching those videos about a year and a half ago, but they were so long and there's a lot of them. I'll go back and look at them again. With the exception of that, there are certain things like, distances from one city to another. They do match up in reality, just like they would on an AE map anyway. But so what? Just because something tends to coincide with something doesn't mean that is what it is.
Exactly. I'll save you the hours of watching. You don't need to watch 48 hours of sun tracking for me to give you the conclusion. Yeah, it matches and it matches and it matches and it matches and then it doesn't. It's out. So well, if it doesn't match, it doesn't match. I remember my heart sinking at the time because I was like all of the rest of the flat earthers I'm about to stereotype. When I was looking at the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric projection and going, I hope it's real. But realistically, why was I doing sun tracking? Because I wanted to find out if it was or not. Not just stick it on a fucking app and sell it. But that's what Dave Weiss has done in spite of all of the debunkings that have come previously. Me, I went out and saw if it worked or not. And I remember the person tuning in from their location, presenting their sun, and it was an hour off compared to the map. You're like, oh, crap. I remember Antonio going, you know what this means? And me going, yeah, it means the map's wrong. He was like, yeah, who'd have thunk it, eh? Because he had it up on a poster behind him. And we're all silent going, oh, crap. So it's wrong then? Yep.
You didn't prove it to be wrong. That didn't prove it to be wrong.
It didn't match night and day.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with night and day. It's nothing to do with the sun. Right?
Hi, Brian.
Hey, everyone. It's nothing to do with the sun and nothing to do with night and day. Right? The latitude and longitude grid is what you were checking out. And the sun will not match the latitude and longitude grid because it has nothing to do with it, technically. Right? You can't debunk a map with the sun. This is BS back in 2016 and it's BS in the end of 2024. Right? The reason that the AE map is wrong is because places like Australia are taking up more time zones than they actually do. That's why that's wrong. Nothing to do with the sun. I don't see how the sun can debunk a terrestrial map. Makes no sense. The latitude and longitude grid comes from Polaris, which is, by all accounts, stationary. So you can't debunk a map with the sun, which is constantly moving. It's just ridiculous. What you were doing in 2016 is no different than what really, Nathan, than what they were doing in the end of 2024 they are with the TFE.
Yeah, I agree.
Same thing.
I agree, but the sun is alleged to be functional on that map. The little line that's drawn around it with little clock times on it is what it's alleging to function with. So when they say it works with the sun, I appreciate that you're saying, well, no, the map is formed azimuthal equidistant north pole centric. That's to say it's using latitude. Therefore, what are you trying to debunk it with the sun with when that's not how it's formed? But that's what it's alleging to be functional with. Now, I don't disagree with you. That's not a standard that's reasonable when you understand more about how these maps are made. But it is still how it's alleged to work, and it didn't. Now, is that any different to how they debunked it in 2024? No, it's exactly the same. You are absolutely correct, Brian.
I'm not trying to attack you, Nathan, like as in point at you or anything. I'm just trying to get people to understand that that's the same thing. They're duping themselves in 2024 like they did in 2016. Like, if Polaris will not give you your latitude, then there's something wrong with the projection, because the latitude, there was an ambulance pathway there. The latitude, your latitude, you should be able to get from Polaris. If you can't get your latitude from Polaris to match it, then there's something wrong then. Yeah. But that's the latitude and longitude grid. The projection underneath that grid on the AE map is debunked by the fact that it doesn't match time zones. Right? The time zones that are clearly laid out by the latitude and longitude grid, the azimuths. Now, if you want to say the sun has nothing to do with it, those azimuths, the azimuth of 15 degrees for an hour over 360 degrees, that's an idealized solar day. That's what that is. So that's not going to match that day because it's all idealized. The sun is never going to be. It's never going to match that. If you know what I mean. There's a full 24 hours in any given day, solar day. Exactly. That's where we get 24 hours from, where we get the hour from, all the rest of it all comes from back from degrees and minutes and seconds of degree. And that's where we get our minutes and our seconds from. Right. But it's an idealized 24 hours. You can't, it's been shown that the sun will make more than 15 degrees in an hour, or less even, depending on the time of year and its position. So you know what I mean? You can't debunk a map with the sun. And in 2016, flat earthers did it to themselves. In 2024, the ballers used it against flat earthers. And everyone was wrong. That's what makes the whole thing so stupid. You know, it does. The whole thing is stupid. You know, and Jaron, of course, been involved in both situations. But still, it's like one doesn't debunk the other. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to form the projection in the first place unless you had an accurate projection of latitude and longitude. But as you've just rightly pointed out, the map doesn't match underneath. Therefore, obviously, the sun isn't going to match in terms of what time and date, say, the sun will do and where it will be at a given time when cross-referencing it with the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric projection, which is what we did, 8 years ago? I keep saying 10, it's not. But that's what we did. And is that any different to them taking it down with affirming the consequent fallacy to suggest that it debunks flat Earth if it doesn't match? What are they looking at? Oh, yeah, the sun. So, no, it's the same standard. But if you know how the projection forms, well, how did they form the projection? Well, because they've got a latitude and longitude system that they can project onto it. So, therefore, what's actually inaccurate? The map, the land masses on the grid is wrong. Well, you've only got to look at it to know that. Look at Australia, as you point out. That's the most egregious, isn't it? It's in 3 time zones.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's what debunks the map. The time zones debunk the map. And what was it Will Duffy said just before he left Punta Arenas to get on the plane to go to Antarctica? We know that time zones are a problem for the globe. Why would he say that? Because he knew the real debunking of that map was the time zones, not the sun. He was fully aware of it. Right? Now, I'm not saying he came to that conclusion, but obviously somebody pointed that out to him. And whoever, but he definitely was aware of that, and that's why he was saying it, because somebody was schooling him to say it. It's like a little get out of jail card afterwards. The whole thing is ridiculous. How they use the latitude and longitude grid is it is rotating, right? They make a sphere out of it, then they make it rotate, right? And the sun is in a stationary position, right? And the sun, as it rotates, the sun is as it rotates, the sun is on one point, and that point appears to move around the outside of the globe because the globe is rotating. That's how they do it. So they try to adhere to this idealized thing, right? After they've hijacked the latitude and longitude grid, turned it into a sphere, and then caused it to move at 15 degrees per hour. Yet the sun doesn't move at 15 degrees per hour all the time. This is the problem that they have. This is why Kepler was needed. This is why the globe didn't exist before Kepler, technically. There was no globe before Kepler. There couldn't have been. But this is why they need the Kepler's Annalena, right? But still, the sun doesn't always move at 15 degrees per hour. It changes that amount of degrees per hour. But in 24 hours, it'll always do 360. Do you know what I mean? It'll be back at the same point again 24 hours later.
It doesn't even, from an apparent perspective, probably the wrong word, but it doesn't matter. From how I view it, if I sit here, even at an equinox and watch the sun, or at the height of summer, whatever, it doesn't really matter. At the point that I can see it almost go all the way around me, what does it actually do? Well, it goes up and then back down again in a vector shape. It's not going in a circle, ever. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that they're alleged to be in Antarctica, seeing it bob up and down around them. But in terms of describing circular or cyclical motion, where do you don't ever see that?
No, the only place you see that is in like the Arctic or that, where during the summer. You might see it making what appears to be a circle around you. But I'm the same, Nathan. I see a sun going up in a straight line to a zenith and then down in a straight line. Now, it's not going up or going down technically for me, right, for that day. It just appears to me to be doing that due to perspective or whatever. But that's what I see. I don't see it going around in a circle no more than you see it. So if someone sees something in the Arctic or the Antarctic or whatever of the sun doing something, that doesn't mean it's doing that around you. We don't know what the sun is. We don't know how it does what it does, what it's composed of. All we know is that we don't know. And you have a load of people out there trying to say the sun does this, does that. This, because the sun is doing that, this or that, that means this, that, or the other thing. No, nobody has a clue what it is or how it does what it does. So you can't make any claims about it, can you? If you don't know what something is, how can you make a claim about it? How can I claim it's making a circle here? Like the circle thing is only for time, right? You could say the circle thing is only for time. That's all we use the circle for. But I can't say it's doing a circle around me because if I time-lapsed it, it wouldn't be doing a circle. But it does a circle in the Arctic in this northern summer. Do you know what I mean? Now, it might dip up and down a bit as it's doing that circle, but I don't know what the sun is. I couldn't even say that's the same sun I'm looking at. I don't know. And people go, that's stupid. It's not stupid. When you don't know, you just don't know. So you can't say what's correct and what's wrong at that point, can you?
No, precisely. If you don't know, you don't know. That was my issue with Dave Weiss today. It's like, don't make shit up. If you don't know, lean into what we do know, what is used and how it is measured. Not what you think it might be based on your little logical inconsistency that you've just made shit up with, basically. You don't know.
Yeah, that's a big problem in the flat earth community. It's a problem that we got from the globers, because heliocentrism is just a lot of made up stuff, right? And they make stuff up on the spot when they need to. We know ourselves, our own opposition, the anti-flat earthers, they just make stuff up when they need to, right? Because they've been taught that it's okay to just make something up due to heliocentrism teaching in that. And flat earthers are the same. They were taught by heliocentrism that it's okay to just make up a load of stuff, right? There's no such thing as just admitting, I don't know what it is, so I can't say what it does. That doesn't happen. It's just people making stuff up. Now, I don't mind. Obviously, we get time from the sun, the solar day, whatever. That's fine, right? That's a calculation, and we use that within our world. Of course, it was used, obviously since the likes of the Industrial Revolution. It's been, like that's really been a mainstay in our world. But like other than that kind of thing, we can't even make a claim, as we're just talking about, that the sun is doing a circle around us. You could say it's doing a circle in the Arctic in the summer, but that doesn't mean it's doing a circle around us. So People should stop making stuff up. Get out of that bad habit that was given to us by heliocentrism.
Yes.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Just talking a little bit of nonsense here, like like we've listened to a bit of that today, a bit of nonsense. But just I don't know when you say about the like a luminary maybe being at your zenith, so it's directly overhead of you. One thing I've noticed with myself is, I've never actually seen the sun directly over my head. Has anybody else?
Well, you won't from where you are. You'd have to be in between the tropics. Well, you'd have to be in between the tropics to see that. Like, you'd see that if you were living in Hawaii twice a year. But you wouldn't see it here.
Yeah, so there's only so many GPs, then the ability follows up. I'm not even going to make any claims about the sun, mate.
You're too far north for that. You know, that's one thing we can say. You're too far north to see the sun directly over your head. You know, like, that's shown in Hawaii twice a year with the shadows as well. There's no shadow for solar noon for two different times of the year, I think, in Hawaii. So it's just like, it's weird. There's like an hour where there's no shadows. Nothing has a shadow because the sun is directly overhead. You are its GP kind of thing at that time.
Right, I'm going to round out. With that, another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.